friend's cousin is Lonnie Kai. I meant to say that off air, but all
Cool.
right.
Did you know? I was going to say, did you know we're live?
I do now. I mean, maybe you could warn a guy, and we're live.
This is what we do. We just fucking go. Let's go. What's up,
warn a
everybody?
guy.
Hey, you don't get warnings here on the Lonely Marks list. It's just like wrestling. Anything can happen. Hello, world. Welcome to the Lonely Marks Wrestling Podcast. Hey, we're live and raw. This is what we do. I am Austin Pezal, your temporary host this evening. I'm here with JP.
Jacob no-showed.
He no-showed.
Pulling a Jeff Hardy 2007 or whatever.
He's doing something apparently you guys know a little bit about, some stand-up or
I
something.
schedule my shows on days we don't have a podcast. So that's not true. I think I've also called off because I had a show.
Yeah, you have.
Yeah. I mean, comedy's not on usually during the day, and comedy during the day sucks. So I'm lucky. But
I've done an 11 a.m. showing one time in front of old people. That was interesting.
Oh, that's good.
It was very unfair. We were told specifically, don't go blue. So I kept it very PG and clean. The next guy went blue, and the old ladies fucking loved it. And I was like, what? Can I go back up now, knowing that like everything's off limits?
Can I do my other material? Yeah.
No, yeah, like I really did keep it very nice and clean. And the next guy went in, they were like, yeah, we love when you say penis. They just loved anything blue.
That reminds me of like those gig I was like. I got wrangled into to run, and then like we were told by the provider, like, look, there's going to be kids there, and you just keep it PG. And then I was like, all right, whatever. And then, but like halfway through, I just ran out of like clean material. I'm like, look, I'm not going to be. This is a one-off thing. I'm not going to be invited back. Let's, I might have to just bounce straight afterwards. So I just went into my dirty stuff, and I started to kill. And then my friend Ryan kept going, like kept pestering me. Can I do my age bit? Can I do my age bit? I'm like, no. And then after I got off stage, he looked at me really weirdly, and I'm just like, yeah, you can do your age bit.
Yeah, go ahead. Yeah, I did one time. Basically, it was like a Buffalo Wild Wings. Like we get there and we're like, this is a restaurant. This is just and there's families and everything. And I'm like, what are we doing, guys? Yeah, it is. It was the weirdest one. Another weird one. But anyways, tales of weird open mics and stand-ups with me.
Yeah, I don't have any weird open mic stories. I've never been brave enough to do anything like that. I don't even do karaoke.
You got to do it now. Barber's done it.
I know. Yeah, I don't know even what kind of material I would do. All I've got is stories about from my working at my grocery store about boomers who have no awareness of anything around them. That's all I've got. I mean, I could tell those for days. But anyways, how you guys doing? You guys all right? Just hanging out?
Doing this. I've done bits about things that happen at work.
Yeah, I mean,
got a good titty money bit.
Okay.
First time someone paid me from their titties. That's like they just keep everything up there. Anyway, yeah, wrestling.
No, we got stuff to talk about.
I think there's a pay-per-view on Saturday or something.
There sure was. It was Sunday, JPO. They're doing Sunday pay-per-views now. Right. They're not doing that Saturday stuff no more.
They have a TV show that they can't screw over.
Yeah. And they announced another one. Apparently, we're gonna soon get monthly pay-per-views.
Yes.
Almost. I mean, we did skip January and technically February this month as well, or this year as well. So, there's still a little bit of a gap. But last year they added 3. This year they've already added 1 more. So yeah.
Yeah, mm-hmm. But it's getting close. We'll get monthly, I reckon.
Mm-hmm.
We've all said this, I think, off air and on air. If we go monthly, or hell, even now, please get on a streamer. I love you, AEW, but especially when it was at All Out, All In, like week and a half later, fucking that's $100. Yeah. Like, come on.
Well, even if I have to pay like an extension to like a Max or something to get like live AEW pay-per-views for a couple extra bucks a month, like I'd do it if it meant not paying a full $50, like I'd do it because, we do watch alongs anyway. So we was just, watch them together. But yeah, shelling out $50 every like 3 weeks does not sound appealing to me.
I've kind of got the impression that they're doing that again. I just like he was asked because Tony was asked at All Out. It was like, do you think you're going to space it out next time? Next year's like, probably not. I'm like, okay.
No, so he gets asked every single scrum about like a streamer, about like the pay-per-view schedule, and I know he's pretty much he's very coy about it because obviously I don't think he wants to talk about any kind of potential deals unless they're finalized. But he's like, no, I think he's happy with and he even tried something like, oh no, we just still did a pretty good number for All In, All Out, so. I think they're happy with what they're doing. At least happy enough.
Yeah, but AEW Dynasty.
And if we keep spending it, then
yeah, I guess. But yeah, AEW Dynasty from
Dynasty.
St. Louis. Yeah, coming up in what, April? So, or March or April, or no, April. Yeah, April.
This was the March pay-per-view.
Yeah,
it's like April 14th. I want to say
something like that. Yeah, and yeah, I mean they're already kind of starting to potentially maybe tease some matches for that coming out of this Dynamite this past week. We've already got matches for Big Business coming up in Boston.
April 21st.
Yeah, there you go. And yeah, we're already kind of teasing what potentially Danielson and Will Ospreay maybe.
I mean, this will be down the line, and I hope they don't rush this, but they're teasing Okada and Omega.
Yeah, I mean, but we might get based on the attack, maybe Okada and Eddie Kingston before that.
Yeah, that's what I figured. Where'd you get Omega?
Yeah, that would be get first. But like, look, like
because they were digging in on Omega, kicking him out of the Elite.
They dig into Omega. They fight Omega. They kicked him out of the Elite and then replaced him with Okada. That's setting up something.
Yeah, but but also it's AEW. That easily could be a setup just for literally whenever he gets back. That doesn't. April.
I just hope they don't go, hey, we know what this match. You healthy yet?
No, I don't think that's their plan at all. No, I think they're just setting it up. They've done very long-term storytelling before, so I think it's just a little thing here.
Well, it's called planting the seed for when it happens later.
Yeah,
when he's literally available to come back. Yeah,
in an entire calendar year from now.
Yeah,
I'm not necessarily saying AEW, but I just know, like, in history, the people's been like, hey, look. People have rushed back from injuries, but you can't.
Well, that would be Omega's fault. I don't think Tony.
I'm just going to say you can't fight with diverticulitis. He almost died. So.
Yeah.
Well, no, and again, I don't think anyone's asking that. I think you're going too old school at this point because I think AEW has shown, like, whether it's Adam Cole or Bryan Danielson, like, yeah, injuries happen. If they're injured, then get back when you get back.
Yeah, so I mean, yeah, whenever he gets back, I'm sure he will jump back into that. That's fine. But yeah, as far as the actual angle, they went after Kingston, so we're obviously setting up probably Okada
That's
Kingston
match,
for his start.
Or even I wouldn't be surprised with a 6-man, knowing them.
Yeah, it could be. Yeah, they ease into it. Yeah, Eddie and two partners against the Elite.
Yeah, I can see that.
That could make sense. Yeah, for Okada's first thing, you don't want to spoil a singles match right off the bat. Haven't they done that before? Because I mean, we've had Okada and Danielson, but he was in a 4-way as well. So yeah, it's like
that's what I'm just saying. We've done that before. Even like before Ospreay got signed. Like Ospreay and his other matches have been, sometimes multi-man and whatnot. So
yeah,
I can't see. I guess Okada will probably win the. I don't know. I can see if they do the match, like Okada might win the Continental Crown or whatever it is. But
again, you're jumping ahead like a lot. Okay, you're jumping ahead again to the end of the year already.
I don't know, but like, I'm a bit.
Him and Eddie will be long done by then. So
we'll get into it. But I don't know. Do you think that, like, I don't know, do you think, like, I guess the Continental Crown is supposed to make the ROH title, like, more prestigious, but I feel like it just disguises it, makes it invisible, where it's just like...
I looked this up the other day, by the way. I looked at recent Ring of Honor results. At least, let's see, the Trios titles have not been defended since the Bang Bang Gang won them back in over a month ago. The tag titles have been defended once in like the last 2 months. Eddie hasn't done shit in a while. The last 4 TV episodes, it's been all about maybe the women's TV titles. Like, there's no Eddie, there's no Bang Bang.
And isn't there another pay-per-view coming up fairly soon? That they're not setting up anything for yet.
I don't know if it's that soon, but yeah, we are coming up. Let's see. Oh yeah, we are less than a month. We are about an even month. April 5th is on a Friday, the next pay-per-view. So yeah, we're a month away. And as far as actual people on the actual television program, there's very little as far as championships go.
Yeah,
I just feel like it'd be better to have you don't have to have Ring of Honor title exclusive to Ring of Honor. Obviously, you can have Eddie Kingston, defend it at AEW sometimes. But like, yeah, it just feels like the Continental Crown kind of fucked over Ring of Honor a bit.
But here's the thing: I feel like they've been fucking Ring of Honor since day one, though. Because I know, and the thing is, I know you're saying defending on AEW once in a while. Then you'll have detractors that say like, "Well, why are we focusing on Ring of Honor titles? Let's focus on AEW shit that doesn't get overlooked sometimes." But that's why I just wish you would focus more on your own product here. I feel like Ring of Honor is such a AEW Dark replacement that like anyone that's important, like champions wise, they're on AEW and they're not even defending the titles 9 times out of 10.
No, it's definitely the
very much
replacement
overlooked.
because if you go to a Dynamite or a Collision taping, they try to cram like
you can fill in
10
that
Ring of
spot.
Honor matches. Yeah, like just random Ring of Honor matches. People, for the most part, and I'm speaking for most of the crowd. I mean, I know there's some people who do follow it, but most of the crowd, I think, don't know what's going on most of the time. Don't know a good chunk of the people, other than maybe a few
And
select few. You know,
to
it's
be
I
fair,
don't know. Yeah.
when they did the last pay-per-view, I subscribed because I was like, all right, $10, I'll do that. I watched like the last month of TV. It's even cold there. There's like a couple stories going, but for the most part, it truly is. This week, and Helen Co and Grand Metalik and Blake Christian will have a three-way. The next week, it'll just be them in a single, and then it really is relatively cold matches, just like what Dark was. Like, it's not even something you get sucked into, even as a viewer. You know what I mean? And because there's so many, a lot of them are all kind of short. Not many are given that much time, so yeah, it really becomes just kind of like it's a very cold show. Like I couldn't get into it, and I love Ring of Honor. I want to love Ring of Honor.
Yeah, it's one of those things where I don't deny that Tony Khan is a fan or whatever, but I guess I was worried about this in the first couple of weeks. I'm like, did he? I feel like he just bought Ring of Honor to flex. Like, hey, I bought Ring of Honor. I mean, I wish he kind of just had more.
I don't think there was evil intentions behind it. I don't think he's an evil guy. I just don't think he sees clearly. Well, that's an evil thing. A flex is evil.
Well, that's when he needs to pass off the booking of that and the organization of that to somebody else to let them focus on getting some storylines going and whatnot. I think he's got his hands full with AEW. I've been saying he needs a booker for AEW besides himself. And just to take some of the pressure off his hands. I think he tries to juggle too much stuff. He's like what Paul Heyman was doing in ECW, where he's trying to do everything. He's doing the shows, he's doing the gorilla, he's doing the booking, he's doing the blah blah blah. Like he's trying to run everything himself, and I think it's too much. Like sometimes. And sure, yeah, as we'll talk about on the pay-per-view, the matches deliver like when they do them, but the stories I think sometimes falter, and the stories get a little lost, and people get lost sometimes.
And apparently, Tony Khan did have like an offer from CW apparently, but like he turned it down because he wanted AEW and Ring of Honor to be like a package thing, and so I'm like, oh man, like getting it on CW isn't like wonderful in 2024, but it's better than what you got.
They can be a package thing on a streaming service. Put it on a streaming service and people will follow it. Put it all together on one streaming thing. And
I'm even surprised you have a service. You got the fucking Ring of Honor service. Combine it with AEW, make your own thing until you can sell it for a bigger price down the line, as WWE did.
Right.
Like, unless they can't handle the bandwidth, maybe it would be too much for them by themselves. I don't know. But I don't know why they don't just do that now, because right now, I'm sorry, it's not worth the price.
Or at the very least, promote if it's under the same sort of banner, promote Ring of Honor on your show. I don't know, just go, hey.
I wouldn't mind a quick little snippet, because they kind of do nothing now. I wouldn't mind a snippet. I don't want too much time because again, I feel like
I know, but still,
but I wouldn't mind like the occasional, like, oh, by the way, guys, hey, if you check out Ring of Honor on Wednesday, we'll have fucking this. Yeah, Athena's doing this.
Yeah. Got a few things announced for upcoming Dynamites and whatnot. We'll talk a little bit more about it when we get to the actual match, but Wardlow in his win is facing Samoa Joe at Big Business.
For the pay-per-view.
Yep, right. But yeah, so it's kind of what I thought. He's going to get a shot like on Dynamite, not like a pay-per-view, which is what I thought. So, I mean, it makes sense. They've announced Adam Copeland and Christian Cage in an I Quit match for Toronto. So that's coming up. So they're going to keep that kind of feud going there, I guess. And obviously Mercedes Moné is teasing that, basically she's going to be on there. They've all but said she's going to be on the Boston show. So watch. I mean, they're dancing around it, but it's
the CM Punk thing. Yeah.
Yes.
I think Serena Deeb is kind of teasing that she might be the opponent as well.
Right. Yeah. But yeah, so that's most of the happenings. We'll get into the pay-per-view in just a little bit. We do have some things we can talk about as far as Hall of Fame. We've got 2 official inductees. I've even got the graphics I was able to pull. We got our first announcement. Ooh, look at that. There's
ladies and gentlemen.
My name is Paul Heyman, and I'm the first inductee into the 2024 Hall of Fame. So yeah, I mean, we talked about it a little bit behind the scenes about this, as far as like, the fact that he's still active, another active guy going to the Hall of Fame, kind of like Rey Mysterio, getting inducted and whatnot. But yeah, we'll go around. JPO, your thoughts on Paul Heyman as the first official inductee in this year's class, and the fact that he's still the tribal chief special counsel and yet getting inducted. So yeah.
I'm all for it. I'm a huge Paul Heyman fan. I'll even admit wholeheartedly, I can find some photos maybe for another episode where I'm definitely wearing a baseball cap on a cell phone trying to be the new age Paul Heyman. I've done that. I think he's fantastic. I think, look at this from his WCW days as a manager to obviously the great shit he did with ECW. I even played that clip on from Beyond the Mat recently for movie clips. To be in the there coming up with a lot of great ideas to commentary, to positioning, what is it, the advocate to now the councilman. Yeah, he's great. It's in Philly. It also makes sense location wise. He will get a very sweet pop as he deserves. Guy that's been in business since the late 80s. I don't mind the active thing as much. Actually, I mind it less than Rey Mysterio's because I feel like with a manager, like, all right, that makes sense. You know what I mean? I feel like when you're kind of in the middle of your hot run, you know what I mean? He's in the middle of the Dominic feud, which always felt weird because I feel bad now that like Ray's one time his son had to walk out of it because they were in character. Like it's kind of cool, but kind of also kind of sad when you think about it, in my opinion, that like, his son couldn't actually be there. Who knows? Maybe they love it backstage, but I mean this tracks. We probably got some announcements going here, and Heyman's the man.
Yeah, Richie.
Yeah, I mean, they're in Philadelphia. I figured there had to be some sort of ECW, like, content, tie-in at some point, and you couldn't do. It's not like you could do RVD. He's already in. Taz is in AEW, and like Paul Heyman. When you think of ECW, you think of Paul Heyman, and it's like, well, they probably thought, well, if we don't do it now, this is the best time. This is the best time to do it. They're in Philly, and it's Paul Heyman. And I don't mind it as much as I did with Rey Mysterio, because Rey Mysterio's hadn't retired yet. It felt very random with Rey Mysterio. It was in the middle of the angle, and I also don't like when they do angles at Hall of Fame. I think it should just be a separate thing. So I like this. I like this a lot. I mean, maybe it's a question now of who inducts him. Maybe before all this came out, maybe I would have said Brock Lesnar, even though he's not the best talker, but obviously not now. Maybe Punk. Maybe Punk. See it being Punk or something like that. Maybe even Roman. I don't know. But I think Punk would be better suited, to be honest. But no, well deserved. And I think it'd be a great speech. I think it'd be hard pressed to kind of beat his. Be hard pressed to beat his speech, and I'm sure like he'll probably go on for ages. So they might have to.
Well, I'd imagine he might be, since it is Philly, he might be like the main one. Like he might be like the last guy.
First introduced, first one mentioned rather. So maybe.
Yeah, probably. I mean, there's a potential there for sure, unless they announce something.
I feel like they've done that before, where they announced the biggest one at first to get people excited. So
right,
might be the wrong guy.
Mm-hmm. But I mean, it makes sense, like you guys said, for Philly to have an ECW, related person. Obviously, he'll get a huge reception. And I'm kind of with you, JPO. At least it's not like an active wrestler. An active manager doesn't seem like as much of a big deal. It's just kind of a person on the side, which is fine. And his managerial career and behind the scenes career kind of speak for themselves pretty consistently for the last 30 some odd years. I'm all for it. Now, real quick. Other potential, if you were to another potential ECW alumni wrestler, if there was going to be one, could it be somebody like a Sabu or a Raven, somebody like that? Even a Sandman to a degree, somebody who's not with another company actively but still around and could get a good pop in Philly.
It depends. Like I think they could, because they got a good relationship with TNA, so I think they could get. They might, if they wanted to, they could get Tommy Dreamer. Yeah. But yeah, I could see Sabu. Sure. I think Raven should go, and I think he's just doing stuff in MLW at the moment. I think he just came back, but yeah,
Right.
I think that. But yeah, I don't know if the relationship there is the greatest in the world, but still.
Actually, that might be a relationship that isn't going to be touched because MLW did sue them and
Yeah,
won
no,
like millions of dollars off them.
Okay.
Yeah.
That actually might be way more than less than a TNA possibility. So
Yeah. So I would say, to answer your question, I would say probably Tommy Dreamer.
If he signed, who knows what kind of deal he has too.
I think Dreamer or Sabu would be two possibilities, like one of those two.
Dreamer, I think Dreamer is a lock for some point for sure. So this year would make sense. The Dreamer might be my number one because I think this is a journeyman, as in like he's been everywhere. And there's even times where like he'll pop back in WWE like right after being a TNA like a week earlier. Like he obviously liked the guy. You know what I mean? He's just one of those kind of like wrestling like flag bearers that I think everyone likes. That has been everywhere from ECW to obviously TNA out and off. Even when he was kind of had downtime with WWE, he made like weird like Ring of Honor appearances. Like just as an extra.
He was in AEW. He was in the Battle Royal. They stopped. He was
like he's just I think he's a well liked dude. So like I think Dreamer makes sense. And then everyone else does make sense to a degree. I think Raven's deserving for sure. Sam I think could be deserving based on what he's done in ECW. Shane Douglas.
I don't think Shane. Well, here's the thing: Shane Douglas did not have the best relationship with Vince. But I don't know what his relationship is with Triple H, so maybe that one's better. I know he hates Vince. He's not a fan of Vince. But now that, again, there's interesting possibilities now that Vince is out of the picture.
Yeah, different doors could be open.
So, it's like for past people
for
that
merch.
Right, that didn't have the best relationship because of Vince being the middleman and all that. Like, I think there is opportunities here,
Oh, like I know there's been a problem with like Demolition. Obviously, I'm going off ECW now, but like I wonder if like we'll get like Demolition in finally. Like now that like Triple H is in charge, maybe he'll like smooth that water over. Yeah.
I'll throw another name out there, but because he was only in ECW at the end, but like
the Musketeer, Chili Willy. Who you got?
He's still like I think he's still quite
Rodney Mack,
respected.
Rhino.
Yeah,
the Baldies.
Rhino.
Yeah, Rhino.
I can see Rhino. Been everywhere and well liked.
Well liked. With the company twice, if not actually 3 times. I feel like he was gone twice actually.
Yeah, he's popped in and out, all over the place. So that's another guy I can see because it's not like they haven't gotten those sort of upper mid card guys before, into the Hall of Fame.
I always say
they've always done that
to be kind of mean here. The bar is not that high anymore.
Right. Really well, if you put, like you said, Coco Beware, the Bushwhackers, like some of these guys, it's like they were not main event people.
Godfather, like if the Godfather's in and he did like a couple small AC title runs, cynically,
he just had a good game.
Why couldn't
that was it?
And he was over, but still, like it's not like it's just world champions. It's like I can see how Rhino, who's at least been like at Manias and SmackDown Tag Champ and NWA World Champion, I could definitely tell
the final ECW champion and TV champion at the same time.
You got to include the ECW legacy, of course, too.
But interesting there, and we did get a second one fairly quickly after that, just a few days after we got Bull Nakano. So more Japanese representation this year, and I think this one definitely, once they brought it up, I was like, oh yeah, that's definitely well deserved. She was a powerhouse in Japan, and I kind of always equated her to, she was almost like the female Vader, because she was in All Japan. Vader was over there for a while. She was kind of like the female version of Vader, just this kind of hulking lady who just beat the shit out of people. If you've never gone back and watched her matches, if you like Vader and you want to see a female version of that, check out Bull Nakano. But she also made appearances in WWF, several times, in WCW as well. Kind of another journey person who's sort of been everywhere. And I didn't even know until I looked her up. She was a professional golfer.
Yeah, she's a golfer. Golfer. She made, I think she's made it as far as the LGBT. She's actually pretty good. So she won like Japanese tournaments in golf and whatnot. So hey, good on her. Cool. But always good to see somebody from Japanese background kind of making it and at least being acknowledged like that. So Richie, any thoughts on Bull Nakano? I mean, I've been sort of championing her to get acknowledged for a while now. I'm glad they kind of they've finally have done it here. Yes, I think she's great. If you go back and watch, like her matches with Alundra Blaze, they had good chemistry. Like, they were ahead of their time. Those matches were all. I think, I feel like she, but almost like she came from the wrong era. I reckon if she was like around now, she would absolutely crush.
Oh yeah, no, I would say even if she was, and even in like late 2000s, just even as women's wrestling started to kind of evolve, into a little more like taken more seriously, like she would have been, embraced as something sort of like a jazz, you know what I mean? Like just, something like that. But she was kind of, way ahead of her time. That's for sure. Definitely.
By the way, that's another ECW person that I could have seen go in, but I guess they didn't do one woman a year. But I could have seen, if you told me if they announced Jazz, I'm like, you know what, that makes sense.
Yeah. No, I can see that for sure.
But no, definitely deserved, and I think she's hella underrated. So I'm glad she's finally getting her flowers.
JPO, any thoughts on Bull Nakano here? Going in. This is number 2.
Yeah, not too well versed of her outside of her WWF WCW runs, which evidently was her last run. I just looked up when she wrapped up with WCW '96. I think there's like one off in like 2012. Really,
she got injured or something. Had like a pretty significant injury that kind of retired her a little earlier than her time. Yeah.
Yeah, so that sucks. It's like you guys said, from what I did see, it definitely did kind of feel like, damn, if maybe 10 to 20 years later, I think she could have had an even bigger like U.S. run. But from everything I've heard, well deserved, and a lot of people are happy for it. So yeah, I'm all for it. Good, international representation, and somebody that also had a good run here in the States.
Yeah, for sure. So Bull Nakano going in. I'm sure we were kind of wondering. Again, JPO was like, what was it, like 2 weeks ago? We were like, when are they gonna start announcing people? Like, it should be soon, right? And then right after that, almost like that day or the day after, they finally announced like Paul Heyman was the first one. We were like, okay, now they got the ball rolling. Like now we'll get going. So we'll probably get next week.
There's only so many. And I looked it up even with like Ray's year. Like Ray was announced kind of at the same time, so it makes sense because we are Mania was in April this year, so we still technically were a full month away. So,
so I'm guessing next week we'll probably get a tag team because they induct tag teams, and then they maybe. And
that Demolition? Who do you think? Who else will tag?
Or Midnight Express? You could go Midnight Express.
Okay. They haven't gone in yet.
They haven't gone in yet. I would put the Midnight Express with Jim Cornette, like that whole group in there. I think that would be amazingly well deserved. I know that's been overdue and again, now that Vince is gone, I think there's more doors opening. So I would say either Demolition or Midnight would be my 2 kind of top possibilities. For that. And either one would be deserved. You know what I mean? Like whether we get either one of them this year or next year, those would be, and then we always get the celebrity induction, at some point, and then
not to break that, we also get like the person that's all like passed away. So
the posthumous kind of thing.
Maybe Bam Bam Bigelow. I don't know.
Maybe, and then
ECW time.
Sure. No, I mean that would make sense. And then we always get the Warrior Award, whoever that recipient is going to be. So
I'm actually worried. I'm wondering if they do. I mean, she can still come back, because like Dana was working for the company, but they released her. So I guess
they fired Dana. So I think there's a chance we won't do that.
Okay, so maybe just one extra person.
The most important part: who's the celebrity?
Who appeared once?
Who did something on SmackDown once? Ben Stiller,
right?
Attack him. There you go.
Macaulay Culkin.
I mean, we talked about people. I mean, there's people out there who did enough, to put him in there. I mean, we've talked about guys like David Arquette or Johnny Knoxville. We talked about people who actually stepped in the ring, Stephen Amell. We talked about Lawrence Taylor. Like literally, WrestleMania, like people like that. I mean, it could even be a sports person, who's done stuff.
What do you think about Mongo? I know he can't,
I feel like unfortunately they would probably do it after he's passed away. It looks like he might be, nearing the end of his life. Unfortunately, I kind of feel like we keep getting I'm waiting for the day where, we get the unfortunate news he's probably passed given his health problems. That might be a posthumous thing, unfortunately. But I mean, he would qualify because obviously he was an NFL star first, so that would make sense. But I feel like, I mean, we kind of know more as a wrestler than an NFL guy, but I don't know. He's borderline for sure.
Yeah.
But I mean, there's possibilities. So I mean, as long as it's somebody I think yeah, like an Andy Kaufman, like last year, I was like, yeah, that's well deserved. Like that dude made an impact on the wrestling world. Somebody that's at least done something significant. Like I feel like some of the ones they put in, Bob Uecker for doing one spot with Andre the Giant. It's like, okay,
Drew Carey, yeah.
It's a cameo. Yeah, it's like, okay.
I've got one if they can get her. Cyndi Lauper.
Well, Cyndi Lauper's over too.
She went in, right? Yeah, I got
Yeah,
she did get in.
Yeah.
I don't know. Unless or Hugh Jackman, because he did that one spot with Dolph Ziggler where he actually punched him. I don't know.
I mean, we'll see. I just wanted it to be somebody who at least, was memorable enough to make sort of impact or something. You know what I mean? Just something. So yeah, I mean, anything like that, I'm cool with. But yeah, I mean, it'll interesting to see who kind of comes across the news in the next couple of weeks, as we're obviously kind of on the roll with that. So yeah, we'll see what happens. But should we just get into kind of the main event, unless you guys have anything else to touch on?
As I said off air, don't forget John Cena's new movie Ricky Stenicki has dropped on Amazon Prime. It's my 5th favorite movie of the year, even though I think 6 and below get negative reviews. And also too, if you love wrestling and TV, Dark Side of the Ring, it's back. It's a fantastic premiere about Earthquake, which I didn't at first. Like I was like, oh, Earthquake's just kind of a nice dude that like passed maybe a little too early. What are they gonna say? They told it beautifully, man. Like I got Iron Claw vibes of like this could be a fucking movie. There's some great stuff about how we met his wife and his stepkids and his normal kids, and it's a great episode. If you haven't seen Dark Side of the Ring with Earthquake, check it out.
Right.
Well, you know, a guy should be inducted to the Hall of Fame. Earthquake. Hey, he's not in the Hall of Fame yet.
As a natural disasters on in, put it in natural disasters. Yeah, that's a tag team.
Yeah.
Or Earthquake by himself too. But yeah, I'm saying if you want to do it too for.
Sure. No, I'd be all for that. I love Earthquake. Yeah, he's great. But yeah, unless there's anything else, we'll kind of get into our main topic for the evening, which is AEW Revolution.
And I'm pretty sure one of us is there live.
I wonder who. Yes, no, I was there live. As we were talking about.
Michael
Turner. Was he there as well? Yeah. I didn't see Michael Turner there. So if you were there,
was there a third friend? I apologize. Maybe
Ryan. One of my friends, Ty, who used to go to our Jacksonville shows, I know posted that he was there as well. So a few people across my Facebook feed were actually there. I just didn't run anybody I knew personally at the show. But yeah,
that's not true. FTR was there.
Well, yeah, but I mean,
your good friends FTR.
And had I not bet on them because they're my good friends, I would have outright won the prediction contest.
Yeah, fuck me. Sorry, fuck me.
I was perfect. Other than that, so that was only because they're my buddies, and I always give the prediction to them pretty much because I'm a fan of Dax. But yeah, we kind of get into it here. Yeah, I made the trip to Greensboro because it was only about 3 hours away to check it out. I was able to get some good seats, good seat kind of in the upper lower bowl sort of a thing. No nosebleeds for me. I actually spent a few extra bucks to not sit in the nosebleed section. But I will say, legitimate sellout. The place was full, legitimately. So good to see them have a nice full house there. I believe they said something like 16 or 17,000, something like that. It was a pretty big size arena there. And yeah, the crowd was hot and ready to roll. About every. Man, I would say like every third or fourth shirt or something, or somebody was wearing either a Sting attire or face paint or something WCW or Sting related for the most part. Tons of stuff there. Greensboro, as I said, the kind of the old stomping grounds of the NWA, obviously where he started in the late 80s. So a lot of kind of old school fans in attendance. I talked to people online who had come from like California and like other states, people with signs saying I drove, 3,000 miles to be here for Sting's last match. A lot of casual fans there for Sting's last match. So it was definitely the attraction to where, when we got going and I heard Renee on the pre-show say that our main event was going to be the 3-way, I was astonished at first. And I was like, that would be a horrendous mistake to not have Sting go on last.
Because when you said that in the chat, I'm like, what? That
I was like, I swear to God, that's what she said. She said, we've got a great main event for you this evening as they were doing the recaps of Samoa Joe versus, and I was like, are you kidding me? That better not be the last match.
I think they did the new school thing, unless it did pivot. They did the new school thing of, well, the main event's also the world titles. We have 2 main events, that kind of shit.
No, I'm with Richie. No, the one that went on last is the main event. That's what it is. That's why it's the
No, you're with me too. I'm not disagreeing with you.
Oh yeah, no, I get it. I know you're with us too. I hate that shit though. Yeah, what you're talking about. Yeah. Oh, we have a triple main event for you today. No, you have one main event. And you have some semi main events. Yeah, that's
if you have a triple main event, you have no main event.
Mm-hmm.
Like, I wouldn't be surprised if they were like Bailey and Io Sky main event, even though it's like match 3 probably in Mania. But you know what I mean?
You won the Royal Rumble to go to the main event. You won the Royal Rumble to go to the main event WrestleMania.
Exactly. I need to stop saying main event because that match is for sure as shit not going to be main event.
But yeah, so no, I was just gonna say, yeah, the crowd was definitely like ready for Sting. That was obviously with the crowd there. They considered that the main event, no matter what happened to go on. Luckily, they made the right decision and had the Sting match be the main event because that is what everybody was there to see. But yeah, a nice hot crowd throughout. As I hope it came off on the broadcast. I'm not going back to watch like the broadcast, like how it looked on. As far as like on camera and whatnot, how it came off, but I felt like the crowd was into 90% of the stuff. We'll talk about the stuff they weren't into, but and if they were only into it initially, got into some stuff that we'll talk about. But yeah, I did make some things here. We did start with 0 Hour, and I just put Bang Bang Scissor Gang defeated a bunch of dudes because I cannot possibly remember the 6 other guys on the other side of the.
Without looking.
All right, hit it.
Jarrett, it's the Jarrett team. So Jarrett, Lethal Satnam, Private Party, and Willie Mack, which made no sense. Because Mack's a total face, but okay.
They explained it on commentary that the Private Party's auditioning people as like a third, because they're trying to be a trios to go after the trios type championship. So that they auditioned Matt Sydal, he lost, and so they're auditioning. They auditioned Willie Mack, and spoiler, he's one that took ate the pin.
I'll give him credit then for at least kind of trying to explain why Willie Mack was there. So I get that. I actually appreciate that.
Yeah. My only real weird thing with this match is, wasn't it just a few short months ago Jay White was in the main event for the world title with MJF, and now he's on the pre-show of this show?
Darby even said that last night when he was shit talking.
Yeah. That's a hell of a fall. And yeah, holding a title that hasn't been defended, like you said, with these trios titles or whatever. Yeah, it's, none. So yeah, I forgot they had belts when they came out with belts. Yeah. But then again, it made sense because everybody in AEW has a belt. So, I just assume everybody's some kind of.
That's something they took from New Japan, man. Like, New Japan has like a TV, an open weight, a never weight, a this weight, a this, a leather, a diamond title. I think that's something.
And is he a babyface or a heel? Yes.
Yes.
But yeah,
that's a weird thing because they were acting very face tonight, and then on Wednesday, Jay White's back to being a complete prick. So it's like I'm very confused as the trajectory.
And then he even cut a promo after this match. Jay White did, teasing that he has big business to do in Boston and all. But he was playing to the crowd like he was cutting a face promo.
And they're very face on this one. Yeah.
Right. So yeah, it was. I don't know. I just know that Satnam Singh sucks. Holy shit, is that guy terrible?
They
Good God, they tried to hide it. I specifically noticed he tags in, and I looked at the guys next to me because I was talking to a couple of people next to me throughout the show, and I said, "You watch. He's out there. He's going to tag in, do one spot, and tag right back out." And what did he do? He came in. He tagged in, did one running splash or something, whatever he did, in the corner, and then he tagged right back out. And I said, "Goddamn right he did." And boy, Billy Gunn trying to work with this dude, holy smokes, was he having trouble? He is terrible. He's legitimately horrible.
So this dude, June of 2022, so we're at almost a 2-year mark of his debut, has had one singles match with Serpentico on the Jericho Cruise. So not even televised. Everything else has been a tag, a 6-man, an 8-man, a 12-man. So yeah, they're just trying to get their money's worth. I really hope this is the guy that when the contract comes up, because they're not into firing people. We get to get on their credit. You know what I mean? So I just hope
let it expire.
Not even let it expire. They just truly go, well, we're just not going to renew. You know what I mean? They've done that in the past with Sean Spears, with other people. So Jack Evans and whatnot. So hopefully, I hope it's one of those. I'm sorry. He is great Khali all over again. He just can't do much. And what he does do is not even that good.
Yeah.
I will never forget, like, probably one of the worst debuts of all time, because they do the like they've stopped doing it for a while now, but like when there's a new person coming through, they'll dim the lights. You're like, oh, who could be in the ring? And the lights come back up, and it's just him in the ring, and no one knows who the fuck he is. And it was just like the crowd just dead, because like who thought that was a good idea to debut him like that? And then I think he was supposed to be. There was one time where I think he was supposed to be in like a tag or six. It was supposed to be in like a tag or six man, and then they changed it, and all of a sudden he wasn't in the match, because I think they realized he wasn't good. It was weird. Like it was a match with a machine gun. Like, they changed it to like FTR versus Machine Guns or something, when the Machine Guns just had that one-off match in AEW. So it's weird. I thought the weird thing about this match, I thought like Max Caster had a very off night. Like, I mean, I don't know if it was like, I don't know if his microphone went out, but obviously he kind of screwed up.
No, that's a gimmick now. That's like part of the thing.
Oh, okay,
that's from what we can figure out. That's staged now
because he messed up one legit, and then they turned it into a storyline thing.
Fair enough.
They allude to it in like promos now, and
I must admit, like there's a couple of times I've missed TV, but like there's been but I don't know. In saying that though, there was just a couple of times where I thought like there was kind of a few spots that were missed by him here and there. The mic drop didn't look great. So I don't know. I still thought he had a bit of an off night, but overall it was not bad. And I once I realized the story of they told the story of they're auditioning their party's auditioning like for a suitable third partner for a trio, go after the trio's belts. I'm like, oh yeah, okay. Well, Willie Mack's getting pinned, and that's what happened.
Mm-hmm. Yeah, I don't have much to say about this. Crowd was into like the scissor stuff. They were into Billy Gunn. Actually, Billy Gunn got a huge pop when he got tagged in. Like they were into Billy Gunn. You can tell there's a lot of old school fans there tonight at the building, because any of the kind of more old school guys that were around got a huge pop. So like they liked him. Into the scissor
There's
stuff.
There's a fun YouTube video of everyone leaving Sting like voicemails, like thank you voicemails, and Billy Gunn is like, damn you for making me the old guy in the locker room now.
Yeah, right.
It's probably, I think he's got to be the oldest in the roster.
Oh, sure. But anybody else, JPO, any thoughts on this? Or
no, I mean this is fine.
Right?
I mean it's a fucking 12-man tag. They're overdoing it now with this. I mean, I get a 6-man, I get an 8-man, 12-man tag. Like it's a 12-minute match, which means everyone maybe gets a minute. You know what I mean? If they even it out. Like you said, Sandom comes in and does like 2 things, leaves. So like it's just fine. You know what I mean? Like it's a pre-show 12-man to get a bunch of people on the card and to put over this new super faction. You know what I mean? That's all it was.
And you get 12 people out there and nobody gets hit with a guitar. That's weird. But anyways.
and you got I know he might just want to be a manager at this point, but then you've got Satman working in there, and you got Sanjay, who was a really good wrestler at one point. Just I don't know. Can get on there.
No, I mean that tracks. I mean, I don't know. I mean, Sanjay probably, I would imagine the reason is because he probably can't go like he used to. So
it
was kind of disappointed. Or just put in somebody that can still go. You got plenty of people that can go that aren't on the show. So
right, get somebody in there. Then we had our other match from 0 Hour. Then we had the women, Chris Statlander and Willow, taking on Julia Hart and Sky Blue. I have to admit, the first half of this match I missed because I was getting food and beverage, and then I came back and caught the second half of this. But I will say the crowd, was into the entrances, not as much in the first half, but they picked up in the second half and got into this eventually, despite a couple of botched spots and a few kind of wonky moments, between all of them. But they popped when Willow and Chris won this thing. But I mean, I think just in general, this match and the one we'll talk about later with Tony's kind of reflection of how much the crowd is just not into this women's division and any of the storylines and characters and whatnot, despite how hard they try to work. It's just they're just not invested, and they just aren't. But JPO, any thoughts on this one from 0 Hour?
Well, you missed half of it. I missed all of it. This is where JPO took a little naparoo. He had a long day.
That's right.
In his defense, because I had a show that day. I ran a show. It was at 11, which means call time was at 8, which means I couldn't get to sleep till about 4. So I didn't have much sleep. So the next 2 matches, let me know how they were.
Okay, fair enough. Richie,
You couple of sexists. No, just kidding.
No, I as soon as that last match ended, I just went, cool.
Yeah. I don't know. You weren't missing much. I feel like, yeah. I mean, I'm proud because, like, you know, I think me and Pez were the only one that said, guess Statlander and Nightingale, and we got, you know. So I'm glad they won for my sake. But yeah,
I just they've been teasing tension between Nightingale and Statlander. So I was like, oh, we're finally getting some tension.
Yeah, but, like, I feel like
champ over.
They teasing tension like they're teasing tension with what they were teasing tension with Swerve and Keith Lee. I'm like, fucking, when are you gonna pull this? This is gonna be going on for ages now. Yeah, like, yeah. I mean, it was all right. Yeah, but like, I know Julia Hart's improved a bit. That doesn't mean but like, yeah, there were a lot of botches, but on here, mainly I know, courtesy of Sky Blue, unfortunately. And yeah, like she is getting better, but yeah, it's just yeah, you can tell like the veterans, meaning Statlander and Nightingale had to sort of.
She still has those moments where she's a little bit happy feetish, man. Yeah, it's not the first time we've seen it where we're like, Sky Blue fucked up a couple things there, you know?
Yeah. So it's just they still have to, like, you know, they're supposed to be carried to a good match, and yeah, Sky Blue definitely was out of place in a lot of matches. She was very wrong. She didn't have a great night, if I'm being honest. And yeah, and Julia Hart's getting better, but she's still not at the point where she can, like, lead a match. It's probably not as good as the person she's in the ring with. So
Willow's probably the vet by a lot here, actually, because even Chris is only a few years in. Willow's probably a bit long time compared to them.
Yeah, but so it was what it was. I mean, at least she didn't. Willow didn't screw up a Dr. Bomb this time. So it was just.
People mess up. Leave her alone. Leave poor Willow.
We saw a brutal Dr. Bomb in one of the matches coming up, so I'll get to that.
Will's at about 9 years in. Will's at 9 years, so.
Yeah. So it was what it was. It was mad.
Yeah, we kicked things off proper on the pay-per-view with the TNT title, which none of us predicted that would kick off the show. But Christian Cage retaining his title against Daniel Garcia. Christian Cage, along with his gaggle of people, Nick Wayne, Mama Wayne, you know, who knows, other folks, and yeah, Daniel Garcia kind of going alone here. The only notes kind of I wrote down is the crowd was all over Christian. A lot of boos, like, you know, good heel heat, good solid heel heat for Christian. Boos as soon as the music started, boos throughout the match. All over him. So the gimmick works. The dude is getting heat with his character and his gimmick right now. Crowd was like pop for Garcia, but like not super into him other than the dancing, you know, occasionally. But by the end of the match, I will say, we're very much into almost, you know, ready for if there was going to be a title change. There was a spot where he got the pile driver and got a pin, and the crowd legitimately thought we were going to see a title change, and it was a super big, you know, 1, 2, that was 3, that was like very much into it. And then, you know, with all the interference, then you know, Christian retained it, and crowd got all over him again. But crowd got really into this by the end of the match. But we're all over Christian live. So JPO, you said you didn't see this one either.
The last match, I at least had brief moments of like, oh, cool.
Oh yeah.
This match, I actually was still waiting for this match to happen because I didn't even realize I missed all of it. I had zero of this match. I literally looked at the results. I was like, oh, I missed Christian. I look over at Corey. I was at Corey's house. I missed Christian and Daniel. Oh shit. Okay, I didn't see an entrance nor anything.
Yeah, Richie.
You should go back and watch this match. It's decent.
He bought the pay-per-view. I don't have to feed no more.
Someone's probably out later on YouTube or something. But yeah, no, I think it's decent. Daniel Garcia came out in a really cool jacket, scorpion jacket. That was kind of cool. That was pretty awesome. And I think it's a matter of time before Daniel Garcia gets a belt of some description. He's had the ring of honor and stuff like that, but I just think he's destined to be either international or TNT champion soon. I kind of see him more of a pillar, you know, for 5 pillars or 4 pillars than like Jungle Boy was. So, So yeah, and yeah, like that near fall with the pile driver came across on TV. That
Well,
I thought that,
a pillar was people that were there at the beginning. He wasn't there at the beginning, so
I guess so,
I'm gonna
but
call him
like
a pillar.
I guess if I'm in my context, I was just saying someone with more potential to be like a world champion.
Okay,
But-
Jungle Boy was about to fall down with his pillar. He wasn't holding it right, and then he fucking moved him and went, "I got it."
yeah, but yeah, it came across well on TV that near fall, the pile driver. I thought that was it, and it was just it was a great kick out. Yeah, and then that fucking Nick Wayne at the end. You know, so yeah, we're obviously getting the I Quit match. Still don't know who's going to win that because I don't think Adam Copeland needs the title, and he's even said as much. So yeah, I could see Daniel Garcia or Kill Switch Luchasaurus even getting it at some point. But yeah, I thought it was a really good match, and to open the show with.
Yeah, no, an unexpected way to open the show, but again, crowd was into the heel heat and got into Garcia, so it ended up being a good way to kick off the show. And yeah, then we quickly got into a very different style of match. Yeah, Eddie Kingston retaining his Continental crown against Bryan Danielson. Crowd live again. I didn't see the broadcast, so I don't know how it came up. Very much kind of 50-50 split, like big time. Let's go Eddie, let's go Bryan. Split chance. But into both guys. Huge into the match. They were ready for one of these kind of beat the hell out of each other sort of matches, and I think we definitely got one of those types of things. Eddie is believable in his thing. I liked all the work they did with Bryan working over his arm and whatnot, starting with him chopping the post and doing some solid kind of submission and arm work there, and Eddie kind of had him having to fight with his weaker arm, having to fight with his left hand for the most part, chopping and lariat with the left hand and whatnot. But yeah, some good strike exchanges. Some good stuff here, and really, really good. Maybe one of Eddie's best matches to date in AEW. I haven't seen a lot of his TV matches, but I would imagine probably it's at least up there as one of his better ones. But when you're working Bryan Danielson, they give you 15 minutes. Pretty good stuff here. But JPO, did you see this one? You wait for this one. Hey.
Good news. The Domino's pizza was arriving.
There you go. That's a boost. There you go. Yeah. Hey, pizza. All right.
This is where JPO spikes up a little bit here.
Yes,
and
right.
so yeah, I'm good on the rest of the pay-per-view.
Sure.
Maybe little cat naps, but I saw at least 90% of everything else. So yeah, no, I mean, this is the match you kind of wanted and hoped for, and yeah, I think it met its, if not surpassed expectations, which is not the last time I'll say this particular pay-per-view, because Kingston and Danielson on paper sounds like it should be good, be the hell of each other match, and they give us what we wanted. Really good. And also too, if you haven't seen, I think it's like a 10-minute interview like segments, as in like several interviews on YouTube, and one of them, I think the first one even is them in the back getting like bandaged up, and Kingston has a really good promo about like how much the match meant to him and how much the respect meant to him as well. Like the respect of the fans and like critics is one thing, but it's the respect of the boys that will really just cement your legacy. And it's a great promo by Kingston, and then really fun like retorts by Danielson. So yeah, these two put together a really good match. This was fun. This was to me the opener of the night, and it was great.
Yeah, no, this is one I think even someone was predicted I thought would open the show, because I think it would have been a interesting way to open the show. But yeah, they still got the crowd super into it. I think we most of us gave us a pretty good ovation as well, kind of a pseudo standing ovation at the end of it, for Eddie and whatnot. But yeah, Richie.
Yeah, I think I like the sort of Eddie Kingston arc. I was thinking about it. He could have been. I was thinking of nominating him last year actually for like wrestler of the year, because I think he's, definitely there's definitely an element of truth there, like having something to prove, like having respect there, because like he's a really good wrestler, but yeah, he's obviously had that reputation in the past of whatever, that negative reputation of whatever being a bum or being late. So he's just kind of shedding, trying to shed that and getting respect. And I'm glad that I'm like
There's a really funny, sorry to interrupt, there's a really funny story. I remember bookers from a company called AEW mentioned, they would mention how sometimes you could tell if Eddie was really motivated, depending on his gear. They would say, oh, it's basketball shorts, Eddie. He's not really in the match this month. Oh, he's got like full-on gear. He's really into it. So yeah, they would always say, like, depending on his gear, you could tell how motivated he was at that show. It's basketball pants. Never mind.
Never mind. Yeah, but
It'll
yeah,
still be good, but you can tell it's not next level anymore.
Right.
yeah. So, but you can tell he's like really, something, I don't know if it was just like being able to go to Japan, but it's something there's a fire under him, and like there's very, he's I'm liking work of Eddie Kingston, and they you can tell that the company's really behind him. I could see it before it all said and done, before he calls it a career if he wins the main title, the main AEW title. But I thought this was really, really good. A really fantastic match, and I'm looking to see where and I'm looking forward to Eddie Kingston and Okada, and I think Eddie Kingston's been great, and Bryan Danielson having a great match is nothing new at this point, but it is interesting that his like new finish is like a power bomb, and but like it seems a bit like weak, but it's it works.
It seems like a lot of guys have a powerbomb as finish, because he's even a powerbomb in the next match as a finish. Yeah, and I was like, there sure are a lot of just powerbombs on this match, or on the show just in general.
Wardlow, Willow, who was a power bomber? There's a couple of them, yeah.
Yeah, a few of them. But speaking of Wardlow, same thing. Wardlow defeated a bunch of dudes, and JPO, rattle them off right now. Go.
Oh, shit. Okay, so there's Magnus, not Brutus, but Magnus, Jericho, Dante Martin, so you can throw him around. Wardlow, as you mentioned. Oh, the meaty guys. You got Will Hobbs is in there. Lance Archer's in there.
One more meaty guy. Come on.
Oh, another meaty. Oh, Brian Cage.
There you go.
Just
Brian
like AEW's booking, I forget about you sometimes.
Right.
Who else is dipping around? Help me.
Wasn't that all of them? I think you got
all of them. You said a Hook.
Hook.
Yeah, I was cheating, but yes, the Hook. All right. I only cheated for Hook.
So definitely the vibe in the arena was we were super into the meaty guys and the meat portion of this match, which was like the first
we could hear that.
5 minutes. No, 100%. It was meat, because once they did the stuff which they tossed all the little dudes out, and it was just the four guys in the middle of the ring, and we looked at it and went, "Ooh, meat madness! Can we have this match instead for the entire duration?" And the whole crowd, started doing the whole every spot was meat, and having tons of fun with that. Then when the little guys got in there, crowd just can we have the meat guys back, please? And that was definitely the vibe of this match.
And that's AEW's
I don't understand this. You still had four meaty guys. Why can't you have a four-corner meat madness? I there's no reason you couldn't have just had that. I'm 100% convinced it was Chris Jericho forgot he wasn't on the card.
I said that. I said he complained.
Right. No, he definitely complained. I'm 100% convinced of that, JP.
Yeah, I'm convinced of that too.
Yeah.
The excuse I heard was, because it makes no sense. The original thing was like, okay, one of them's hurt. We're like, oh, Wardlow's hurt. Okay, they're gonna save the match for another time. It makes sense. And then they're all in it anyway. The excuse I heard was like, well, they were gonna add to it with maybe like Keith Lee and so, but they were hurt. And it's like, but you advertised it. So either A, you don't know how to plan ahead, or B, you're lying. Those are your options. Were you dumb, or are you lying? So it's shitty no matter what.
Yeah. But Keith Lee and Miro, if it's Miro.
Oh, Miro, thank you. Yeah.
Keith Lee and Miro have been out for a while, so they knew that was
That's why it's like, you should know they weren't clear.
And the crowd was perfectly fine with Wardlow, Hobbs, Lance, and Brian Cage in there just beating the shit out of each other. It was great for that portion.
If you do a Meat Madness match, it shouldn't be 6 of them. That makes more sense for a high flying fucking just spot fest. If it is Meat Madness, it should be a 3 to 4 way, because that's all you need. Yeah. It's just big dudes, you know what I mean? You don't need.
Well, because it was what it was. Each of them were doing like the simultaneous shoulder block spots or the chop spots or whatever, running into each other, slamming into each other, and that's perfectly fine. Hey, you two pair off, you two pair.
I like it just because it's something different. This was something that we've seen a lot, unfortunately. You know what I mean?
Yeah. Even if you are
better,
even if you are insistent on all the 6-man meat match, whatever. Even if you didn't want, if you're pissed you couldn't get like Keith Lee or Miro, it's not like you don't have other big guys to shoot. What was Big Bill doing?
Big Bill or what's it? Brody King. Brody King would have been perfect for that spot. He's a big meaty dude. Yeah, Big Bill's a big meaty dude who wasn't on the show.
Throw a bone to an Iron Savage guy. Yeah, you would have.
Yeah.
Oh, Vincent's partner, the Righteous
Yeah,
Dutch.
yeah.
He's
Dutch,
a big dude that can move. Yeah.
Yeah, any of those guys. Yeah, that'd been fine. If you had to have 6 dudes or whatever.
Oh,
yeah,
Shane
fine.
Taylor. There's another one. You've had him on TV a lot.
I think what also kind of like negated the small guys is because like some of the small, the small guys, you rely on them because they're small and they're fast. They can move. They can move really well and they can do cool stuff. But like a lot of the big guys in the match are big and athletic and can do cool shit. Like Brian Cage in this match is awesome. Yeah. So yeah, I don't know. It was a bit.
It just got awkward after like the Beat Madness portion of the match ended. The little guys came back in and started doing their spots. The crowd just wasn't as into it. Yeah, it was a little sloppy here and there. Dante Martin kind of botched a few of his little sort of divey spots.
I thought he was going to hurt himself again. I'm like, come on.
Yeah, no, he pulled a flop dollar and damn near crashed and burned on the apron. Yeah, that was scary.
I love that.
Yeah, no. But yeah, Jericho trying to work with Hook a little bit. It got a little sloppy here and there. I mean, when Hook, was suplexing guys, it was okay. And once the big guys kind of came back in and did some more of their stuff, it was fine. But yeah, I felt like crowd really wanted some Meat Madness and we missed it. And instead we got this, and it wasn't like it was bad. It was still entertaining overall. Everybody got their shit in, but I also felt like it went a little too long. Like this would have been a great 10-minute Meat Madness. Like if you just had these guys slamming into each other for 10 minutes, it would have been awesome.
Even for this, too much. It's a little over 16.
Yeah, it's too long.
Too long. This could have been trimmed. It's a spot fest. Yeah.
Yeah, too much. So
yeah, but I don't know. It was yeah, and I think it was telegraphed for a while that Wardlow's going to win. I guess they just wanted to pin a small dude.
That's my other problem with this match is because just like we had Becky Lynch, as the focus point and of Chamber of well, she's obviously going to win. I like how the night before Wardlow got a separate promo with a cameo by Jericho and Hobbs, which then meant, well, for sure you could discount 5 of those fuckers. They ain't winning because they weren't even involved in the promo. Maybe Hobbs, maybe Jericho, likely Wardlow, and it's Wardlow. Don't telegraph who's going to win this. Everyone should have had a 30-second promo. Let everyone tell me why they want a title shot. This is I'm doing 2 dicks. But you know what I mean? Everyone gets a promo. Magnus, hey, I'm new to the company. I want a title shot. Dante, hey, I've come close before. I wanted to get hooked. I'm hooked. Instead it's here's your focus. Everyone else is just there for filler.
Yeah. I mean, Magnus cut a half an hour promo. He was not. I'm not buy it.
But I'm just saying.
I know what you mean.
Do something. Yeah.
You're basically telling me Wardlow's getting it. Everyone else is fodder. You know what I mean? You're telling me that already. Just give him a title shot then. Don't even fucking put him number 1 in your ranking. Your bullshit rankings. Forgettable match with spoilers. Probably my least favorite match of the night, but that was how good of a pay-per-view this was because again, like you said, I didn't hate it.
Yeah, no, it wasn't a dud. It wasn't bad. It was everybody, did some good spots and stuff, and it was fine. So, but we got into another matchup here that was pretty hard hitting, and some pretty good stuff here. Roderick Strong capturing the international championship over Orange Cassidy. Crowd was big on Orange Cassidy live. Don't know if that came out, but they hit his music. He was big on Orange. They loved them some more. A lot of people dressed up like Orange Cassidy. Lots of love for him at this one. I kind of felt like Roderick was, definitely going to win this one, and he did. But yeah, man, Roderick Strong was awesome in this match. This was like 05 Ring of Honor Messiah of the Backbreaker, Roderick Strong, because Jesus Christ, this was great. Because what was all of his offense in this match? Chops and backbreakers, and it was fantastic. Everything was countered into a backbreaker, underhook into a backbreaker, top turnbuckle backbreaker, whatever, back, chop. But you know what? I'm not complaining because it was great. And Orange was great fodder. That spot where he tossed up and over Orange, and he landed on the top rope and then kind of fell off
on the ropes.
Dude, that was ridiculous. The crowd live jumped out of their seats. Holy shit! Oh my God, is he dead? That was brutal. But yeah, this was a lot of fun here, and I mean, Roddy took most of the match, and Orange making a little bit of a comeback. But I love seeing Roddy. He looks motivated as well. This is the Roddy I like. Just breaking the shit out of people and just being awesome. So yeah, I thought this was pretty fun. But what'd you guys think of this one?
Oh, okay.
Yeah, go ahead, Richie.
I love this match. I thought it was really good. And similar to Eddie Kingston, I love sort of workhorse Orange Cassidy. I think he's come a long way just from being that sort of the the comedy gimmick, and I think I like it again. So I like to prove that, like, hey, I'm not just this sort of this punchline comedy gimmick. I'm a really good wrestler. I think he's one of the best wrestlers in the company. And yeah, he's just he's just so reliable. I think I'm not saying it's going to do. I just think there's a way to make him champion one day. I'm not saying it's going to happen. I think there's a way. It's hard because of his gimmick, but I honestly, I think he's that over that he could do it. Roderick Strong. I think JPS is something similar. I've always liked him. I think he's a really good wrestler, but I've always found him bland. I kind of thought he was. I almost thought he was bland in NXT as well. But this ever since he became this sort of jealous heel and Cole, and then he's had this edge to him. His promos have gotten really better. He's a lot more entertaining, and he was fucking great in this match. The ending the Doctor Bomb in the ropes was brutal, and then the endings. He just kind of, and it was a great way to put him over too, because he just sort of he won clean. It was just he countered what was it, the orange punch into a knee, which was brutal, and into heartache.
And then he hit the big end of heartache. Well, I mean, backbreaker, a bunch of backbreakers, and what did he win with? A big final holy shit backbreaker, for a finish. So it made sense, and you end with that, and it works.
Yeah, and then it builds up the faction here. I don't expect Wardlow's going to win the title, at this point, but it's probably just going to wait for Adam Cole to get healthy, whenever that will be. It was really good. A lot of fun. I'm looking to see how far this reign goes, but it's good. It was good.
Yeah, JP.
Yeah, no, I'm with you guys on this. This is a really good match here. Met max expectations, if not surpassed them. Mm-hmm. Kudos to Orange Cassidy was they put together a really hell of a run here as champion. Even the show I saw, him and Wheeler Yuta had the best match of the night. If they were still making DVDs, I could see them making an Orange Cassidy best of his international title defenses. Because the dude was defending it even in this last couple of weeks against Ishii and other people. So doing a workhorse. So good kudos to him. Still not slowing down. They already announced, which I kind of predicted, that him and Trent are going to enter the tag team title tournament. So I've also kind of feel like they've teased Trent maybe turning on him too. I feel like they've teased that in the past. another tease. So we'll see. But it's a great defense by or almost defense by Cassidy. And Roderick, this is my favorite Roderick. I've always liked him because to a degree, he was Ring of Honor World Champion, but I always kind of felt like he might struggle in other companies where it's also about character. Ring of Honor, you can kind of get away with that. As long as you're a great wrestler, that's all that kind of mattered. But in other companies, you need a little bit more. And he's found it here. He's become a better talker over time. He's more entertaining now. And this match was cool. I'm happy to see Roderick hold the title now. And where we're going to go from here. So this was fun.
Yeah, good stuff. And we had the return of Kyle O'Reilly. We should mention
that was unexpected. That was amazing.
Well, and I will say live, the crowd did not know who this was. There was a big old there's somebody in the ring. Who was that? And it took a while for the word to kind of pitter around, the arena that was Kyle O'Reilly, because it wasn't I don't think it was overt. He looked a little bit different, shaggy hair, he looked just different. And word kind of eventually got spread around. Oh, okay, Colorado. Okay, cool. But I think there was an awkward moment there where we didn't know who that was, to be honest with you. So,
once you recognize realize it, he got a big pop at when they recognized it, because it came across live on TV that he got a huge pop. So
eventually, it just took some time to realize who it was. It was oh, who is that? Oh, wait, Riley Shaw. Okay, Kyle O'Reilly. Okay, yeah, we got it now. It took a minute. But he's back, so we'll see how he kind of fits into the picture. Going forward. He's
sort of doing the same sort of position what Roderick Strong was in when they wanted him to join Undisputed, the Undisputed Era. So he's sort of do I want to join you guys? There's friendship there. So I don't know whether he will. They might be setting up another, Colorado Adam Cole feud that they did in NXT. I don't know. We'll see what happens.
Yeah. We then had some tag team action here. We had the Blackpool Combat Club of Moxley and Claudio taking on FTR. Surprisingly, pretty 50-50 split live for who the crowd was behind, because they were still pretty into the Blackpool Combat, even though I think they're supposed to be heels. Pretty much. And yeah, I was a little, crowd liked FTR, but given where we were in North Carolina still, I'm surprised they weren't a little more over, at least during the match. But yeah, this one took, I did take a quick bathroom break during the first part of this just because we were, I think like 2 hours something into this. It took a little while for everybody to kind of get into this one because it was just kind of a tag team match, just kind of moving along for a little while. But I think once they got into those final minutes, and once Dax got busted open in this one, like pretty heavily, and yeah, there was some big near falls. There was that one near fall near the end where I think they hit the shatter machine on, I think it was Claudia, was it on Moxley? Yeah, and like that was a huge near fall live. Yeah, that was really, really big. Yeah, a couple of close big near falls here that the crowd got really into, and then we had kind of a double choke out, I guess, was the finish of this match. They kind of Blackpool kind of choked both the guys out to go forward. So kind of an interesting thing of events there. What do you guys think they're going to do with the tag titles now? Another mini tournament or
do you not know
something? No, I have no idea. I didn't see the
well, yeah, that's what I just said a second ago. It's
okay.
Well, I'll explain better. So at the scrum,
I was gonna say you were a tad choppy when you were explaining that, so I didn't catch every single moment.
As Takuma Shinuku's manager once said, sometimes you go choppy, pee.
Yes.
No, at the scrum, Tony Khan did announce. Someone asked straight up when I was like, and he actually even said like, I was wondering if someone was going to ask me this. Right. It's going to be a tournament. They already did it. I was trying to say before. Orange Cassidy and Trent Beretta are going to be one of the teams here. So I'm guessing both these guys will obviously play a part in that as well here. That's actually maybe why they gave Blackpool Combat Club a really big win over an established tag team, because it makes sense. Because now they can go into this tournament looking like they might even win it. I wouldn't even be surprised if potentially they're at opposite ends of the bracket, and maybe that's the finals. Like, who knows? But yeah, I think obviously they'll both be involved in that tournament here. So.
Yeah, no, and what do you think of this match?
And then otherwise, as far as just the actual match, no, I like this match a lot here. I thought they delivered. I was a little hesitant just because we just saw the match, and then they even did the match kind of again in a 6-man, which I thought was a weird booking decision. But no, they put together a fantastic match here. Also, kind of cool seeing them come out in the Warriors inspired gear, and then they put together a really good match. As you mentioned, there's some good near falls, which happens a lot tonight. There's a lot of for several of these upcoming matches here. So I thought this was great. I liked it a lot.
Yeah, Reggie.
Yeah, no, I don't know how much I had it. Yeah, it was really, really good. I do, after the match, I'm like, I can see Blackpool Combat Club winning the tag titles here. I definitely see that going forward. Also, the LOD inspired gear looks better when you're not wearing it, like on Claudio, because he wasn't wearing a shirt. I feel like it doesn't look as cool when you're wearing a shirt underneath. I don't know. It's just my thing. I was just like, it looks better on Claudio. But no, it was really good. I don't know if Dax just gigged or you got busted open hard way, but
I couldn't tell either way, and even afterwards it was hard to get a straight answer because it was something involving the steps, and I don't know, maybe he caught like the corner on the steps or something, like literally it looked like something like poked him like a hole, so like he might have gotten hit with like the corner of the steps or something like that, like right into his head.
If he did gig, he must have nicked it pretty bad because it was dripping. So it was one of those.
Yeah, for sure.
Yeah, so it was like, oh man, it was pretty bad, like gash here, but it was really good. I was surprised that like FTR wasn't more over, because at the start of the match it was like I was a bit kind of caught off guard because the crowd were kind of a bit, I don't know. I just thought
they were split for sure. Yeah,
but also the crowd were a bit. I thought the crowd were a bit tired at first. I'm like, the crowd tired or something. I'm like, why is the crowd doing that? But then it picked up after a while. As the match went, got really good as it was expected to be, and really good. And I think the finish also protects FTR because they didn't. It's not like Dax tapped
Well,
out. Or
you have to keep in mind the live crowd. We had actually been watching wrestling for about 3 hours at that point, which is the average length of a regular show, and we still had 2 hours to go. So some of these matches, as we'll talk about during this next match, we were kind of I got the vibe that we were saving our energy, so to speak.
Yeah.
You know, so it was kind of, we're taking a little, breather here, saving some energy because, it was definitely kind of I mean, I'm not gonna lie. There was a lot of people getting up to use the bathroom once this one got going with Tony Storm and Deonna Purrazzo. Not like a mass exodus, but I got that vibe that people were kind of saving their energy, kind of on this one. It's like people were into the Tony. I did think the entrance tease of where they had Mariah come out as like old Tony Storm, and the old gear and the old music and stuff was a fun little tease. Crowd kind of popped for that, and then the swerve of then hitting her traditional current music and whatnot with the current gimmick was fun. But yeah, I think it's also crowd like really wants to cheer Tony Storm, and technically she's still a heel. And it was like Deonna Purrazzo was working this match as full on babyface, with the whole like, yeah, let's go, blah blah blah. But we wanted to cheer for Tony. So it was like very weird. It's just a weird vibe to the match overall. I don't know why Tony Storm isn't just full on babyface at this point. Because the crowd is definitely like she's the most over kind of woman, as far as character wise right now. But yeah, it was just a little strange. So
I think it's the case too of John. I mean, she's only hasn't been working babyface that long. Like she was babyface at the end of a TNA run, but I think maybe I think she's better. She's more experienced working as a heel, and she's better heel in my opinion. So maybe the dynamics have switched.
It's 50-50. Yeah, no, it's I think it's easily a mix of Deanna's not the most fiery babyface. Like she still kind of comes across as I'm better than you, and then Tony is also just really fucking over. So it's like it's a mix of like I'm not totally believing your fire, and I also just really love the other girl. So.
Yeah, that's how it came off. Yeah, watching this match because it was like we're like just kind of waiting for the match to like kind of get near the end, and it's like we're into the the character stuff, but and the finish is something we've seen a bunch of times where it's like Luther saves her from from some certain doom as a distraction, and then into the pile truck. Just like this one kind of felt like a glorified sort of Dynamite. Match for the most part. I feel like it didn't really kick into the next level, but Any other thoughts on this one, JP? It was just kind of an awkward, encounter here.
You stole the words I was just about to say, which is it never felt like it kicked it into the next level. This feels like I wouldn't be surprised if this is going to be a rematch on either Dynamite or even for Dynasty, because it did feel like they were saving it. Yeah, it felt like they were kind of keeping it kind of just fine, because I like the story building here that they've done. This is an actual match that had a build to it. You know what I mean? I like the stuff with the tattoo. That she went over it. I thought that was great. But yeah, the match was just fine. It's right up there with the Scramble as easily my two least favorite of the night. Again, don't hate it here. It's a relatively cleanish match, but yeah, it just never sucked me in as much as pretty much everything else sucked me in.
Yeah, for sure. Richie, any other thoughts?
I just think it's a case of you got to it's a good story, but you got to you just got to kind of also make the crowd care about the women's stories more. I guess I don't know. It is a good story because you got the
see, that's what I'm saying. In this case, it wasn't the story's fault. I think it was the matches.
The match, it was,
and they need to just go ahead and they need to tweak, like Pat said. They need to tweak. Just let Tony be more or less a weird face, and give us someone that we could just cheer her and boo the other person.
And both these women are really good wrestlers. I think. Like Gianna, I thought was like the one of the best, like probably had one of the best years of any women's wrestling, like 2021, 2022. I thought she's she proved that it'd be wrong that who hardly used her, that she's really, really good. And I thought this match is is good, but it's just like it never kicked in that next level. But I think it was like they liked Diana, but I just thought she was in like that wrong kind. She was just playing the wrong kind of role here. I think she's she's better as that kind of pompous heel. So I don't know. Hopefully, eventually, I just hope she doesn't go the route of Ty Valkyrie, where they're like, you do. That's right, you're employed.
Yeah,
And
time will tell. I agree.
Yeah. But like I said, crowd was kind of saving its energy, and for good reason, because when we knew this one was coming up next, based on the graphic, holy shit, did this crowd wake up live? Because boy, look, I'll say this: crowd was mainly there for Sting, but if there was a number two as far as what the crowd was ready for, it was motherfucking Will Ospreay. They were into Will Ospreay and ready for Will. Anytime Will Ospreay's picture popped up like on the pre-show or whatnot, any of the kind of lead up and huge anticipation, like you could feel it for this one. And again, I know we've seen Will. It's not his first time in AEW. We've seen him actually have matches, but officially there, it felt like a big deal. They hyped it up as a pretty big deal, and yeah, knowing he was facing a guy like Takeshita, we were I think we were all expecting this to be. Could be a show stealer, obviously, and don't get me wrong, Sting's match was memorable and probably the overall highlight of the night. But as far as the workhorse match of the night and the one where this is the one that people are going to be talking about, other than that, this match delivered. Holy shit, was this match awesome, especially live. Jesus Christ, some of the multiple standing ovations, super into everything, even just the little stuff at the beginning. Ospreay just makes it look so easy. There's that stuff where he got whipped off the ropes and just came up with that snap Rana and just snaps right back. I mean, just making it look like it's nothing. Just the easiest thing you ever saw. The one scary spot it was in the corner. Where he got. It was it looked like kind of a suplex sort of thing, but then he just almost landed on his head and kind of bounced off the ropes. Yeah. That was pretty scary.
He immediately pointed to his back as well because it immediately flared up.
Yeah.
He showed it at the press conference, and it was this huge rash, like a huge mark, right? It's like, holy shit.
Yeah, and I think we all collectively went, "Oh no, please don't get injured in your very first match, please! Oh my God, we need you, Will. We need you, Will. Please don't get injured." And it looks like he's going to be okay. Like he's fine. Probably just
he just wrestled the main event of Dynamite last night.
Right. So he's okay. Yeah, and we were always just hoping, maybe it just looked bad, and maybe it wasn't as bad as it looked.
They even said, because they announced that match on the pay-per-view, him versus Fletcher, even at the press conference, they were like, to be determined. Like, maybe he won't be
right. But no, he ended up being good, obviously. They finished the match, and a couple of these sequences, the one that's going around, obviously, where there was the wheelbarrow suplex and then into the blade, and everything, and then both going down, the kick out at one. That was a huge spot, big standing ovation for that. The one that ended in, it was the back and forth, and then Takeshita hit that blue thunder bomb, out of the running thing, that was awesome. Great sequence there. Really, really good stuff. And Ospreay hitting the old school Tiger Driver, 91 kind of into the finish was really good. And then hitting the blade. Yeah, this match, hard hitting, great high spots, great sequences. These guys had great chemistry. Will Ospreay is 100% a star and needs to be a big baby face. He absolutely needs to. I know he's still technically with Callis, but bruv, this guy needs to be one of the faces of the company as far as a top. Him and Swerve need to be top baby faces.
His first signed promo, a couple weeks back, he carries himself as a face, carries himself as a face at the press conference.
Right.
No, this is very much going to probably end up being a feud again, a turn again. So he's pretty much face 100%.
Okay, cool. I was gonna say because technically, Callis being out there, sort of representing both of them in this match.
No, he's the family, but
right. Well, I mean, I can see them making an angle out of it where he has to go through the gauntlet of the family. That would make sense, as a thing. That's fine.
What I'm thinking is because they've done Fletcher. All you really need is him versus Hobbs now. I could see them that could be in the match where maybe Callis does something to cost him it, or I don't know.
Yeah. So, but God damn it, is Will Ospreay a star? He was treated like a star. The crowd treated him like a star. He needs to be one of the faces of the company. But JPO. I love this match live. It was amazing. I hope it came off as well. I think it did, on pay-per-view. But damn, this match was fucking great. This match was lived up to the expectations, maybe even beyond.
Yeah. No, I was gonna say. I said before. I'll say it more than once. This met and not surpassed, or did surpass expectations here. And 2 stars I think were solidified this night here because we've seen glimpses of Ospreay in the past for AEW. We've gotten some glimpses of the greatness in Takeshita, and they put on a fantastic match here. yeah, this was every bit of a match you could want on any kind of AEW or even New Japan card here. I'm actually just watched Ospreay versus Okada from one of his last New Japan matches earlier today on Access, and almost kind of gave me glimpses of that. I think I like this one even more than that though, actually here, because I think Takeshi also has something to prove as well, because he's been kind of put on the back burner since turning heel as well. And yeah, this is great. It's a great kind of like, put your dick on the table. This is Will Ospreay, baby. Like, this is believe the hype kind of thing. So yeah, it's great.
Yeah, no, I'm here and I'm for real, and I'm gonna be a fucking main event star. Yeah, for sure. And they treated him like one.
Honestly,
sure. He's great.
If Swerve gets that title, Swerve Ospreay, and the fucking
we talked about that right? Swerve and Ospreay in the main event at Wembley would be fucking incredible, and that makes total sense. Yeah, if Swerve takes it, and yeah, obviously Ospreay in England at Wembley would be amazing. Yeah, that would be a hell of a main event that I think they would put on a 6-7 star match. You know what I mean? Like, those guys would kill it. That would be amazing.
And then Sting comes out of retirement, and
yeah, right. Richie.
Sting will come out of retirement to go to a smaller company. He'll go to Impact.
I was gonna say he comes out of retirement, feuds with Saddam Singh.
No, this match fucking ruled. It would be mind-boggling silly if they don't have Will Ospreay headlining Wembley. I think he's going. I think it will be him and Swerve. But honestly, him and Swerve, it makes the most sense. But yeah, I just think it's just fantastic, and takes to the tango. Takeshi is amazing as well. I've sang this dude's praises since he first came in, and it's like no one really knew who he was when he first came. He came from DDT. Not really a lot of people, he's just amazing. I think he's up to level since he turned heel as well. I think he's due for like a. I could see him winning like the international title or something at some point, in his future. But yeah, like this match just ruled. Like the chemistry is off the charts. I would love to see this. I could see him doing. I could definitely see them doing this match again at some point. But yeah, this match fucking ruled. I don't really have much more to add, but yeah, Will Ospreay. I think Will Ospreay is legit. Like, I mean,
did I mention this match fucking ruled? I don't know if I said that.
Yeah, did we mention this match is probably like a match of the year candidate already for the year?
Yeah, I know it's only March, but yeah, this will be on my match.
Well, I mean, I'm just saying, at least in that conversation, like this is one that people will remember and will come back to as far as like being in that conversation probably by the end of the year. And having, I think the mark of a really great pay-per-view is you need that kind of one match that like we talk about months down the line, and this is one of those for sure.
And Will Ospreay is one of the best wrestlers I've ever seen. I've got to be honest.
He's just, again, he makes it look so easy. Like everything he does is so crisp and clean, and like, oh my god, that guy is just, he's in his prime, and it's pretty stunning to watch. So Ospreay, I think main eventing Wembley seems like a pretty foregone conclusion. Barring any kind of injury or whatnot. I think that's in the cards. But speaking of Swerve, and we will get to him, obviously. We had our kind of semi-main event for the AEW title, a 3-way here. Crowd super into Swerve all night, even before the show and whatnot. I mean, one of those things where you're walking around the hallway, in the bathroom, whatever. Whose house? Swerve's house. Before the show in the arena, whose house? Just randomly Swerve. Crowd huge on Swerve. He needs to be a full-on babyface at this point. That dude is ready for like a big babyface run.
Not interrupt, but they pretty much solidified that even more on Wednesday. Like even in his promo, he's like, maybe I lost because of the demons in my past, and like and the fact that he didn't cheat tonight. So
I'm gonna say the spot tonight where Nana threw him like the crown to use while the referees are down and whatnot, and he refused to do so. It's a big indication he's going that way. But if you've seen the guy work as a face and like evolve and stuff, he's great. He's a fantastic baby face. He works really well as that, and I think you could he's ready for that face run. You can still keep Joe kind of a tweener, depending on who he's up against, whatnot, because he could play both roles. But Hangman, it was his stuff, full on here. heel here, excuse me, worked as well. Again, the crowd took a little while to kind of get into this. This was more the story kind of sports entertainment match, I think, out of the three, as far as just it was more about getting the stories over and whatnot and the character work. But yeah, crowd got into it by the end. Again, really into Swerve. Had Swerve won this match, I think it still would have gone over, really well. Live when I would have bought it, but Joe, choke. Yeah, the finish, we'll talk about it, made sense story wise, but didn't come off as well live because we were just a little confused. Like, I know they pushed it as far as like the whole thing of Hangman tapping out so that Swerve didn't get the title was like the story, I guess. But like, again, live, that was hard to come off of. Like, we didn't have the commentary and whatnot to go with it and the camera angles and all that. So that was like, that didn't come. It just came across as Joe choking out Hangman. But yeah, the stuff where Hangman laid out the referees and then laid out Flair and Steamboat, especially Steamboat. Boy, when he went after Steamboat, that crowd was all over him. They were booing the shit out of him for that. But again, it took a little while to get going, but the story came across pretty well here. But Richie, what do you think of this?
Yeah, no, I mean, I don't blame him for it to take it a while to get going as far as crowd goes. I mean, they are following Ospreay and Takesh there.
Well, and the crowd was kind of also, again, saving a little energy for what we knew was coming up. Finally, you know what I mean? Which was pretty late in the evening. So it was like,
but yeah, no, I thought this match was good and it told the story they needed to tell. With Hangman sort of losing his mind, but also the eventual turn of the Swerve, and it went about the way I thought. Only, and you didn't see this, but like again, I don't like to kick him when he's down because I realize he's not as good as he used to be. But JR was on the call for this match and the Sting match, obviously, and he goes, oh man, like I can't believe what we've seen the side when he hit the referees. I can't believe we've seen the side of Page, and then JR goes, oh yeah, money and fame will do that to you. I'm like, that's not the storyline, JR. What the fuck is that? It's not because of money and and fame that he did that. It's because he got so blinded by the hate for Swerve that he turned into
he doesn't want Swerve to win. Yeah, that's the story. He turned
into a different fucking person.
yeah.
Like you don't even watch your own product, anyway. But yeah, so that, I mean, just want to nitpick about the match.
No, wait, we love you, JR, but your best days are kind of behind you. Yeah. It's just, it is what it is, and I understand why he was there tonight. I mean, it's Sting's final match. Makes sense, but
this match was good, but I think we'll get the match down the line. I wouldn't be surprised if at Dynasty if we get Swerve and Joe in a singles match.
Mm-hmm.
So
either that or the one after that, whatever it is. But I'm sure, the next pay-per-view or two, we'll get that singles match for sure. Yeah, that's going to happen. And sometime before Wembley, I think Swerve takes the title at some point. So we're going to see that. But JPO, this three-way here.
Yeah. So first, I'll start off with a pre-show note. Damn, I hate the editor sometimes because I was so into Nana and the girls dancing, and then like they cut. Into a random crowd shot, like in the middle of it, and that annoyed me. Stop it! Show me the fucking dancing. Well,
there was a buzz in the arena, by the way, because while they were playing the video, the girls came out on the stage, even though it was dark, and we saw them like lining up, and we were like, "Yay, dancers! Big entrance! Woo!" And they're like, "That needs to be a gimmick for every pay-per-view." He just does the fucking dance with like backup dancers.
No, it's awesome. It's great that it's become a thing now. Where it's like even like when it's a pay-per-view, let's go even bigger.
Yeah, sure.
I love it. So that's why I was just annoyed when he's in the middle of it here as he's like kind of turning. It's just a random crowd shot of people like, that's entertaining. Yeah, let me fucking see it too, please.
Yeah, right.
So that's my annoyance. Otherwise, though, no, I really like this here. I thought this was another one that had a lot of nice near falls. Ooh, maybe. Told a good story here. A lot of different factors going into this. You can almost argue Samoa Joe is kind of on the back burner, the champion, which is kind of interesting. When like the focus is kind of on the challengers way more. That's why I do think Swerve probably should just take it next month, because I still kind of feel like Joe's kind of like second thought next to Swerve and everyone.
Well, I do think they played that a little bit into the story though, because Swerve and Hangman are so obsessed with each other that he's like, "Hey, I'm over here and I'm going to beat the shit out of both you guys. I don't care who it is, whatever." That's fine.
No, I think they told the story pretty good.
Yeah.
You know what he almost was like? Remember You remember that triple threat match at SummerSlam 2000? What was The Rock, Kurt Angle, and Triple H? Kurt Angle and Triple H
Nope.
work on. You don't remember that?
No, go and tell me. No, I don't remember Random 2000 match.
I remember
Yeah,
that was the one where
continue
Kurt
that.
Angle got knocked out when the table collapsed.
To the table, but yeah, but it was basically Kurt Angle and Triple H having that feud, and
Because they were having that love triangle angle, but then The Rock was the champion, even
The
though
Rock
in that
was
match.
champion, and he was just there, and then he won.
Yeah, no, that's a similar thing. Where the main storyline that had been building on TV was between the other two people, and the champion was just he had to be there because he's the champion. No, I get what Richie's saying. It's actually a pretty good analogy for it.
Oh no, that makes sense. I remember the storyline.
Yeah, no, that was the one where the table collapsed during the pedigree and Kurt Angle got knocked the fuck out.
I've seen that TikTok.
Yeah.
He was meant to get a kayfabe concussion, but the table gave way and he got
an
an actual
real concussion. Yeah, and legitimately says, in interviews that he does not remember that match at all. He has no memory of it.
Triple H's story of it is pretty fun too because he's like, I'm flipping out because I'm like, we're about to have to change the ending of this fucking match. Like,
Rock and Triple H had to basically call a singles match on the fly. Yeah, and ignore all the. I mean, not that they could. They're professionals. I'm sure they could. They went in there and called a match, and they've worked.
That's still not preferable.
Still, not preferable when you're going to have all these spots and you got to change your finish. Yeah,
but they also do that. They do an angle at the end where like Kurt Angle comes back out. And then hits, but you could tell Kurt Angle's like no condition.
He has no idea where he is. Yeah, and he even said that.
They wouldn't do that at this day and age. But he's like,
no fucking way.
Kurt, go. I want to stay home and bake cookies with you, mommy. Get out there. Get the fuck out there. I don't want to go to school.
Yeah, right. No, definitely. But good stuff.
And that was it, right? The end of the pay-per-view.
Yeah, that was the end of the pay-per-view. So, it's next week on Lonely Marks. We'll be doing whatever prediction. Oh, yeah, there was just this little thing where Sting. Oh, yeah, there was this little thing with this guy named Sting, and it was his retirement match. And, that's kind of why everybody watched the pay-per-view. This is the thing. Yeah, as soon as this match was over and they started playing the videos, you could tell the anticipation in the building was kind of, we were ready. Everybody was ready. And even though it was late, this match started at like 11:30 Eastern time, you know what I mean? It was like, even the videos for this one, it was very late, but crowd was super into it. That's why we were there. You have to start out talking. The video package was great with Sting kind of in the movie theater sort of thing. Yeah, watching highlight reels of his career and whatnot. That was cool, and kind of ending with it's showtime for the last time. Good stuff. Having and we didn't realize this live, but having his two kids dressing up as like past Sting, All-American Surfer Sting, and then Wolfpack Sting, and which was cool. And my God, that guy was tall. The one son, he about jumped over the ring half the time when he was doing the Stinger splashes. We'll get to that.
He could do the Stinger splash.
His son was cosplaying as Kevin Nash, cosplaying as Sting.
Right. It was like Kevin Nash, dressing up as Sting. That dude was enormous. And then finally coming out to
and Surfer Sting's son too is fucking jacked. That dude could be.
Oh, he looked. That was the thing is. The crowd actually legit, the people around me, when we saw Surfer Sting, we were like, oh my God, is that actually Sting? Is he going to wrestle as like All-American Sting tonight?
And his career, how he began, that's kind of
I was like, that's kind of, and you know what? We would have been cool with it because like that's an old school crowd, you know what I mean? Like the crowd was like, if he had done that, awesome. Like I'm there for it. But no, I mean, it was just a tease. He comes out, does his thing, which is great too. Metallica Seek and Destroy, which couldn't have been cheap. That had to be expensive as well on Tony. Because Metallica is not a cheap one to copyright, obviously. As we know from them using it at One Night Stand for Sandman the one time live and not on the subsequent replays and DVDs. That Metallica is pricey. The Seek and Destroy thing was a great surprise. Crowd was super into that, singing along with it. It was really, really good. Fitting way to come out to kind of some of his old music there. What's there to say about this match? It was bonkers and crazy and over the top. And he, when he said he was going to lay it all out for his final match, he laid it all out for his final match. And Darby goddamn near laid down his life for this match too, because Jesus,
Darby needs to be saved from himself. I think.
I swear he had like a legitimate you know what? If I die during this match, I died during Sting's last match. Kind of mentality.
He
and
legitimately has said that word for word.
Right. That if I die, I'm fine with it.
He's climbing Everest, and he says, "If I die, I'm at peace with it."
Yeah. Okay. All right, Darby. Fucking death wish. All right. But yeah, I mean, but yeah, hot start again with a 4-on-2 handicap match to start this match because boy, were his kids just wailing on the Young Bucks here. It was a 4-on-2 match, and then they kind of disappeared later. It didn't. Sting could have really used his kids to help him out later when he was getting 2-on-1.
I was gonna say
later.
they
Yeah,
never
where were they?
there was no exit, right? They just were gone, right? Like they
No,
didn't
they just and even live, I think they just walked like down the side rampway like to the back, and we just never saw them again until after the match. And I was like, your dad could really use some help right now that Darby's out of the commission, because it would have been a thing like if they'd come back out, and then I'm saying super kick, like Young Bucks super kick the shit out of him, you know what I mean? Like knock him out of the ring. Cool, no problem. They're out. They're not wrestlers. No big deal.
Yeah, I remember thinking later, like, did I miss their exit?
No, they just didn't show up again until after the match. They were just gone.
Sorry, Dad. Catering is delicious.
Right. One again, and it wouldn't even make it would have even made sense for the Young Bucks to lay him out because didn't they do the stuff with him at ringside, like slapping him around, like
car, huh?
So
I swerve in my car.
Yeah.
Hey, your dad's gonna we'll talk about my dad later.
No. He's fine. He'll fire up at some point. He does his thing. But yeah, we talk about when they started pulling out glass, I got very worried because I knew Darby was going through something, and I got very, 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 very worried when they laid it out. Once they laid it on the chairs, I go, oh God damn it, Darby's like leaping on that freaking thing. And sure enough, yeah, he did. Very, very scary. I mean, big pop, but very, very scary. And yeah, I don't know. Necessary? Again, there's kind of a debate online. Was it necessary? I don't know. Big debate. I don't know.
Jim Cornette called him a moron.
Yeah, I don't know. I mean, some people are like, whatever. It was Sting's last match, make it memorable. Some people are like, it takes away from Sting. I don't know. I'm just more in the middle where I'm just afraid for Darby's life at this point, like what he's doing to himself. That's kind of where I'm at, to where like I didn't need to see it as far as Darby damn near like killing himself trying to do this shit. Hey, just throw yourself through a big stack of tables, like whatever, just something safer, at least a little bit. But that's just me. Like this. I know.
Literally said if it was just tables, we're not talking about it. It's not as memorable, and they were looking to make this shit memorable, and they did.
I know. I just, again, there's a debate. I can see both sides. I can see both sides. You know what I mean?
I agree. I agree.
I don't know. I see both sides of the argument.
I would feel for people, and as long as, to me, in the end of the day, if they're willing, it's their idea, and it's very rare.
Yeah.
Kind of, I'm okay with it.
Yeah, as long as it's rare. I can imagine, like, maybe, I don't know, just throwing out a name, like Chad Gable going through, like, laying out a match with, like, Darby Allin, going, like, a technical match, and then I'll go behind with this, and then I'll go through a flaming table. No, Darby, we're not doing that, just with, straight match. No, and then I'll go through 10 shit. No.
Yeah.
But I actually think it didn't take away from Sting because it's an insane spot, and look, man, that dude was cut up to shit. That was disgusting. But the fact is that he was down for a lot of the match, and it was just Sting versus Young Bucks, and Sting got like a lot of time to shine in that. So I don't think it took away from. It was a memorable spot, but at the end of the day, I don't think it. Yeah, like the majority of the match was Sting versus Young Bucks.
No, Sting, trying to fight, this 2-on-1 battle and being Sting, and going through a table, off that ladder at one point, being a fairly safe bump, just kind of doing like sort of a, back bump onto the table, no big deal. He did a glass spot as well, but I felt his glass spot was a lot safer, just doing kind of a forward roll, sort of somersault
and
into
also,
a glass thing. Yeah.
Heavy shirt, gloves.
Oh yeah, no, he's a little more covered. Yeah, and he's not falling from 30 feet onto a glass. Much different. So I mean, still get a big pop for that and whatnot. And yeah, but kind of cool how it built. They're doing all this stuff to him, can't put him away, hitting him with the BTE triggers. He's firing back up, kicking out at one, whatnot, finally firing up, and then Darby, at the perfect right time, right as they're about to do the Meltzer driver and whatnot,
TK driver.
They're calling the Tony Khan driver now. Yeah, they're calling it that now. But yeah, again, a perfect spot because we had the table that was set up from earlier that you kind of forget about. Darby chucks him off, through the table, and then they hit the Scorpion Death drop, coffin drop, and then finally get the tap out in the middle of the ring. Again, great way to Sting getting the tap out, clean in the middle of the ring, looks great. Crowd big pop for that, obviously. And yeah, sure. So a little bit of debate that I understand about the glass and whatnot, but again, the story of the match was still good. Sting very much showcased, but again, didn't have to it wasn't like he was, wrestling them for 20 minutes. You know what I mean? It was like brawling, doing some big spots, some calculated stuff. I did like the nod to Ric Flair where they were like, pleasure doing business with you or whatever, something like that. Or it was something, instead of the I'm sorry, I love you, it's like, we hate you, like pleasure doing business with you. Mm-hmm. They said that during before they super kicked him or something. It was kind of the nod to the Ric Flair Shawn Michaels spot. But yeah, good stuff overall. And Sting obviously mega over, and everybody was happy, with him doing his thing. So
I like the spot through the power bomb through the table. I like to call that spot the Leo Rush spot, where he gets power bomb on the table and gets right back up.
But
I thought it was good. I guess you're getting into it, but so did Sting talk much after the show? Because it cuts off.
It does, but they uploaded everything to their YouTube channel and their Twitter, so it is all there. They uploaded the official footage.
Monumental, but it's watchable.
Yeah, no, it was because I think when they cut off, because I know they did at some point. It was kind of mid sentence, but he just went on to again thank some more people. He thanked some of the people at ringside. His family was there. We could talk about the people who were there. Lex Luger was there off camera. Tully Blanchard was there. Now DDP was there. I don't think he was on camera. There was a thing during the match, actually, and this is live. This didn't come across the camera. DDP was walking on the ground, just kind of along the rafters and whatnot, because all of a sudden everybody in this one corner of the arena stood up and was looking at something. I was like, "What is there, a fight? Is that a fight breakout? Whatever." And DDP was walking along the thing, going like this to everybody, to the crowd. So yeah, DDP. I was like, "Oh, okay." There's Diamond Dallas Page. That makes sense. He didn't show up on camera or whatnot, but he was there. A couple people in attendance after the show. What's that?
Don't forget about Scotty Riggs was in attendance.
Scotty Riggs. Hey, I'll tell you what. I used to work with Scotty Riggs a lot in Savannah. I did a couple of Savannah shows with Scotty Riggs. He used to come into my Publix in Jacksonville to pick up prescription medication. So I actually talked to Scotty Riggs quite a bit back in the late 2000s. I didn't know that till after the show. It was hard to tell, but Riggs was there. The rest of the show, he just kind of they just kind of went back and forth a little bit, cut some promos. Darby had the thing about I'm going to go to the hospital now, but I love you, Sting, something like that. I was pretty much I was texting Jacob or texting you guys and Jacob the whole time, kind of the play-by-play after it went off the air of what was going on there. But it was not a ton, but it is online if you want to see it.
Kevin Nash was saying that I would go, but I don't want to piss off WWE or something like that. But it's Luger's under a Legends contract, and so is was it? I feel like was it Luger and
you got to also take into context of they didn't say legally we will get mad at you. They just said for supposedly he was told we'd prefer you not to, and he's close friends with Triple H. Luger probably didn't give a fuck. Luger was like, "Hey, if I can legally go, I'm gonna go." And plus, you know what I mean. So that's what you got to take into context.
Apparently, he did get permission to go. Yeah, at least. Yeah. Okay. Yeah. So I don't know. But I get it's up to him. But yeah.
Oh, the only things off the air were Tony Schiavone got on the mic and gave one last "It's Sting," on the microphone live because he shouted out Tony. On the pre-show, by the way, we didn't mention David Crockett was there doing some stuff with Tony as well. That was cool.
Also on the pre-show, she mentioned they teased the return of Puck.
He had a video as well. All the other stuff off the air was just the locker room kind of gathered at the top of the ramp, and he went and kind of hugged everybody, shaking hands back, just a whole big thing. So just kind of more appreciation essentially from what it was. That was one stuff that happened, and then he eventually, made his way he made his way around ringside and was kind of, hugging family members and talking to people and whatnot. But that was about when everybody left. But overall. yeah, hell of a tribute, hell of a moment, and definitely a match. Yeah, say what you will, but yeah, the match is going to be remembered for sure. Pretty epic, retirement match, if you will. But yeah, JPO, any other thoughts about the match? Yeah, or either one of you guys? Just overall, why not?
Richie, anything?
No, the only other thing I forgot to mention, and I thought was funny, at the very start of the match, Darby dives on the Young Bucks, and I guess Tony Schiavone is caught off guard, and he literally said, "Oh shit," on set. So, oh shit, he wasn't prepared for that, but yeah, it was great send off. I think Sting, I feel Sting needed that for himself because he kind of. Before that, he retired unceremoniously after getting inducted in the Hall of Fame because for WWE because after sort of getting injured pretty badly with Seth Rollins and having a pretty dud run to be fair. So I think he needed that for himself. So I'm glad he had this run. I'm glad I didn't expect him to go undefeated, but I'm glad he did. I think it worked out well.
I'm not glad he's undefeated. I'm glad he won this match because that is the right. Especially if it's the main event of a pay-per-view and it's such a feel-good moment. He should have fucking put somebody over, though. Not his fault. That is Tony Khan's fault. But, yeah, a win over Sting would have done so much for Ricky Starks or somebody, and they never did. They never pulled that trigger. This dude didn't need to go 30-0. He should have lost a couple of these.
Apparently, Sting was pushing for Young Bucks to win this match. But they're like, no, we can't.
And I believe that because, usually you do kind of go out on your back, as they say, putting somebody over here. But, again, I think with all the circumstances, in the end, this did make complete sense. And, my just brief thoughts, I love this match. The opening sequence of him, sitting down in the theater, I thought was really well done. And I feel like Jim Cornette also shit on that. It was like, if WWE produced it, it would have been so much better. Fuck you. No, Nevin. I think
I listened to some of the Cornette stuff, and to be honest, I listened to a lot of Cornette. I listened to it, but I couldn't disagree more with him with a lot of shit on the show. The crowd had an amazing time. He shit all over the Will Ospreay match because, of course, he did. And I thought that match was fucking amazing, and the crowd ate it up with a fucking spoon and loved it. Like it was everything. Like as far as just like fun pro wrestling, people having a great time, and I feel like sometimes he is stuck in like Boomer Cornette mode of just like, these guys are doing headlocks. Oh, fuck it, whatever.
He got his audience. A lot of his audience from shitting on AEW. So it's just like he's in that mindset of
where he has to.
No matter what he does, even if I see deep down, I actually like the stuff. I've got to pretend I don't like it.
No, he's kind of dug himself into a hole with that.
He's made me laugh before because he truly is old man yelling at the sky. Like I swear to God, he's had segments of a show before. It's like, God damn it, you mean you want me to check my email and my phone? Man, fuck you. It's like, calm down, old man. Like, no, he's out of it. Sometimes he says the absolute truth, or not the absolute truth. He is absolutely right on some things, and then he's fucking so far off on others.
He's right on sometimes on like storyline stuff or character stuff, or booking decisions. Sometimes I get, and then sometimes he's spot on with like maybe a way of a character's going, or how somebody's booked or whatnot. That's fine. But I feel like he is just completely anti-modern wrestling, like 100%. And it's just, and look, I appreciate. Yeah, I appreciate a good old school match as much as anybody else, and he at least does like guys like MJF and Gunther and certain people like he's into. And and this makes sense because they're more kind of old style, a little bit influenced, but at the same time, it's like, I'm sorry, dude. Everybody in that fucking building, all 60,000 people were on their feet for that Will Ospreay match and loved it. I don't care who you were. Everybody had an amazing time, like live with that thing, and I think it came off as well like that. So sometimes modern wrestling can be fun, Jim. It's fucking fun. It is what it is. They had a good time. They put on a banger. So
garbage show, motherfucker. This was a lot of fun here. Very memorable. This is a match I remember, and this would be a show I remember. I thought this was a fucking top-notch show.
Yeah, for sure. So, I mean, do we even, do we go with the out of 10 thing, obviously? Around? So, no, for sure. So, JPO, out of 10, what do you think?
Honestly, 9.5. Like, I thought It's memorable. You got several great matches here. I think Ospreay versus Takeshita, like you said, potential match of the year candidate. I thought the tag team delivered. I thought Danielson and Kingston very much delivered. I thought the three-way delivered. I thought the main event delivered. That's 5 bangers, and I feel like I might even be forgetting something here.
Roderick Strong and Orange Cassidy delivered.
And Roddy and Orange very much delivered. There you go. I was going to say for 6 out of them. And then when your worst 2 matches, I mean, the pre-show's whatever. I'm not even really include the pre-show. I'm talking the main show. When your worst 2 matches are still very, I think, watchable, like maybe even if you're a major critic, 2.5, probably more like 3-star matches. That's a pretty good show.
Yeah. No, for sure.
Memorable, some twists, title changes, have kept you wondering, and like not to compare the two. While I didn't mind the Elimination Chamber, nothing was surprising, nothing was next level, and this show had both.
Yeah, for sure, Richie.
Yeah, I can't remember the last time. I mean, obviously the wrestling in AEW has always been top notch, but I can't remember from like almost just how like can't remember like a banger pay-per-view that is just delivered on like nearly every.
That one pay-per-view that had Swerve and Hangman killing each other also had really good matches, and I feel like we all came out not expecting much from that pay-per-view and all being like, holy shit, that show was amazing. I mean, they've had those ones that have over delivered.
Yeah,
I feel like Revolution in general actually has a good track record. If you look at past,
I think that's because last year we got the I Quit between Danielson and MJF, which is great.
Yeah.
But
this pay-per-view has a good track record.
Yeah. So there's at least like 3 or 4 matches where I could at least see myself like talking about it on our best of so far list, like in June or whatever. I think for the most part everything Doug delivered. I think it was an amazing show. I'm gonna probably not 9.5, but like I'll go 9. I think it's a really good show.
I just can't think of much more I could want from a show.
I know.
Right. No, I'm in the same boat as JPO. I think it's like, because I don't know if there's many pay-per-views that are like a complete 10 out of 10, you know what I mean? It's hard to get there to where like every match is incredible and it has great surprises and, good and just, great entertainment, overall to be like a 10 out of 10. It's hard to do that. But yeah, this is about as close as you can get. I'm in like that 9.5 territory as well. Because like you said, JPO, if your worst 2 matches are like a still pretty good Dynamite like style women's tag match, and a scramble where there's still some fun moments and some good, spots and whatnot, and then you legitimately have like a Will Ospreay Takeshita like 5-star match of the year candidate, and you have even a main event that you could almost go for the atmosphere for the spots. Pretty close to like a 5-star type, sports entertainment sort of main event.
Memorable in moments, that's a 5-star, yeah.
Right, and then like even the 3-way is like a fantastic like 4-star like sports entertainment 3-way, with like good storytelling. You have stuff like BCC and FTR, which is like probably like a 4-star tag match, like really good stuff there. Yeah, Eddie and Brian probably like pushing like 4-star territory, like really good stuff. Even Roderick Strong like 3.5, like pretty strong, like 3.5 star. Every match is like at least watchable to great. Like that's a pretty damn good pay-per-view. Yeah, great moments that we'll be talking about individually for a while, and it could definitely be in that contention for like we talk about show of the year as well. I think this is in that conversation. We'll probably stick in that conversation honestly, as well. Yeah.
Good luck, and I hope as a wrestling fan that will catch it, because right now this is ahead by like a decent minute.
Yeah, but again, I'd love to be surprised. Yeah, hey, pressure's on everybody else. Put on a show as good as this. This year.
We all forgot to mention it because I didn't see it, but you guys also said Garcia and Christian was good, right?
Yeah, Garcia and Christian was good. Good opener. Yeah. Right, that was like another like probably 3.5 star like opening
so I'm
match.
Just saying
like,
that also adds to
right. That's what I mean. Like I don't think there's anything below like 2 3/4 at worst with the women's maybe, and even like the scramble is probably 3. Like that sort of thing. Yeah. Like all good stuff all around. So and some of those match of the year candidate type things. Yeah, for sure.
I think we're in a really good position as just wrestling fans. I would say if like we're still in the era where like Vince is running with it. I'm like, AEW is going to best pay per view by far. But like I think like Triple H has like I think we're at least going to get we're guaranteed to at least get more banger pay-per-view pay-per-views that will kind of
I mean, I have hopes that like we'll get a sneaky good maybe foreign show, or
Yeah.
you know what I mean.
Well, like I said,
Survivor
those shows in like Germany
Mania?
and France, coming up, like Germany show, the French show coming up. We get Money in the Bank in Canada, like that could be a good pay per view.
Sure,
And
hey,
I did enjoy
Man.
Rumble in Chamber, just not like nine.
Oh, sure, but WrestleMania could blow us out of the water. I'm
Mania
hoping it does. You know what I mean?
But,
It could.
yeah, I mean, one of the best. I mean, if Mania was just a one-night event last year, it probably would have been the best show.
No, I mean, I think most people said that last year's Mania was on its way to being like a top 5 Mania had Cody like finished the, like come out on top and give it that moment. It would have been like a top 5 Mania, legit. We've talked about that. That like the undercards for both those shows were amazing. Like they were great. So yeah, especially that night one. Yeah. So hey, I'm open to being pleasantly surprised. Hey, kick it out there. WWE's been on fire lately. WWE is on fire right now. Like they are, as far as like they're doing great business. Everybody's interested in the product right now, watching week to week, following everything. So, hey, good on you, And then, like we said, AEW, even if they stumble in stories, tend to over deliver on pay-per-view in the ring. So, you at least have that going for you.
Yeah. And I think they're probably, with the goodwill coming off this pay-per-view, I think they could be in a good space. We'll see. I know they were having issues with like maybe ticket sales with like big venues and stuff, but they could always. We'll see if they could always sort of turn that around. I think there'll be buzz from the pay-per-view at least going for a couple of weeks. So I don't know if that will have something, but no, I think again we're in a good sort of position as wrestling fans. There's nothing really that I'm like, oh man, I'll watch it because it's wrestling. But man, it's
a big couple of weeks too for AEW as far as talent acquisitions too, because within 2 weeks we have Kyle O'Reilly returning. We have Will Ospreay now officially full time. We got Okada just debuted last night as far as a signed guy. We got Mercedes Moné. Like that's some pretty big shit going on right there.
Yeah.
I also probably. I mean, it's not like a huge name, but I probably didn't mention like last week. Looks like Tama Tonga's going to WWE. I mean, that's pretty decent.
Yeah, Tama Tonga's going to WWE. That'd be interesting to see if he ever plays into any kind of bloodline
name. Yeah. So yeah. But yeah.
Maybe I'll see him Sunday. Actually, I'll try to get him. I'll try to talk to him Sunday. I'm going to the show I saw him at last time, and I was like, "Oh, maybe he'll come by because he lives in that area."
Yeah. So yeah, I think it's a good position.
Well, we only have one other bit of business we got to take care of, and that is our predictions. We've got some banked from Elimination Chamber. We had a 3-way tie for Elimination Chamber between myself, Jacob, and Richie. All have one in the bank. And coming out of Revolution, like I said, had I not bet on my buddies, I would have outright taken it. But otherwise, myself and Richie tied for Revolution predictions because I only missed one, and then you only missed one. I think Richie. So yeah, we are we both tied there. So we both have 2 in the bank. Jacob has 1 in the bank, and we do. But hey, it's a good time because we do have kind of like 3 sort of. Again, not dead weeks as far as we'll be talking about whatever goes on, but we have 3 weeks where there's no pay-per-views going on. Our next predictions won't be till the 4th, right before WrestleMania, obviously, making our Mania predictions. AEW's next pay-per-view is not till, April 21st, so we got some time until then. But yeah, so it's a good time to kind of do some stuff in between. I was going to let Richie go first if you wanted to take it off and give us a topic.
I've got like 2. I mean, like there's one idea, but I thought maybe I've heard like Jacob say something similar, so I don't want to step on any toes. But like I could always pivot if, and I talked to him after the fact if this was his sort of similar idea. But I think it would be a decent idea. I know around this time last year we did like a tier ranker of WrestleMania main events. So I'm thinking. I think we talked about it last time as well. Maybe do a tier ranker of WrestleMania opening matches. I don't know.
Okay, if I can remember all of them,
if that works. Otherwise, if it's a bit more palatable, I was thinking. Because I was trying to think of like, okay, what would it do for like a retro thing? And I'm thinking, well, I could go for the manias that we know are really good. Or I don't want to.
Well, I think we had danced around doing WrestleMania 19 because we've all been wanting to do WrestleMania 19. So I feel like we saved that for the week before WrestleMania because we're going to do the predictions anyways, and then we could do WrestleMania 19 as our retro show for that, just like an all WrestleMania extravaganza.
Maybe I was sort of thinking, right, like, because I was like, well, I know we all know that's good, but like, yeah, and I mean, I'm not going to be a dick and make you watch WrestleMania 9, but I was like, what's the WrestleMania that has a good moment, but I can't remember for sure if it's a good WrestleMania. And I sort of stumbled across WrestleMania 14. Which,
with Stone Cold and Shawn Michaels in the main event, and I seem to remember watching it probably 5 or 6 years ago, and actually thinking it has an underrated undercard, and I remembered enjoying it more than I thought I would. So that could be an interesting one. Could be an interesting one. Yeah,
I thought that'd be an interesting one because it's like it's not one people talk about. It's got a good moment, so I was like, is it a good WrestleMania? Yeah. So we could do that. That might be a idea.
No, that could be one more. Yeah, we're not sure. Maybe it's underrated. Maybe it's forgotten, or maybe it's good. Yeah, I don't know. But that'd be a good one to kind of.
Maybe it's Maybelline.
Yeah. So no, I'm fine. I'm fine to do that next week, and then I'll pick something for the week after, and then Jacob picks something the week after that. Yeah, I'm fine with that.
I'll just sit here because I don't know how to predict matches.
That's all good.
So what were your ideas?
Again, I think Jacob was leaning with me on 19, so I think we'll just kind of all collectively maybe put that on the calendar for like the 4th. You know what I mean? Like just collectively use that as one of ours just for that, and we'll bank that, and then maybe we'll each pick something. I might, we'll do WrestleMania 14 next week. I'm down with that. I might pick maybe like an ECW show or something. I don't know, or something. Like we'll figure it out. I'll think of a different retro show, or do another WCW show from back in the day. Maybe an old Starrcade, since that's the kind of their WrestleMania, you know what I mean? We could do like a Starrcade or something. And revisit one of those. I'll think of something. So we'll figure it out.
Also do. I mean, because this usually happens when we go off the air. But there are just a bit. We can don't have to go into it because we're wrapping up. But there has been news about the Ring of Honor pay-per-view. Athena will defend a women's championship against Hikaru Shida. There you
go. Right.
Okay. Sure.
That's
all right. Sure. Why not? All right. Cool. Sounds good. All right.
Also,
let's see.
I thought everyone should know this. Ricky Stenicki also has Nathan Jones in it. So if you didn't rush to Prime before, you should be rushing now.
There you go. All right. Well, maybe I'll check it out. I got nothing else to watch. Does he have a fight scene? He
punches the dude. That's it.
Okay, I'll watch it if he has a fight scene. He has good fight scenes. We'll wrap things up. Richie, anything you want to plug before we get out of here? Anything you want to talk about?
No, not really. Just I'll be on Tournament Fights, I believe, tomorrow to join the championship of
2004 championship, yeah.
2004, I guess so. So that should be fun. And then other than that, I mean, I'll be on there. I think I'll be on that tournament fight of Jordan Anderson and Zach Shelton's like favorite TV show.
Yeah, Zach's got some interesting TV shows. I'll tell you later.
All right, cool. That'll be fun. It's gonna be fun.
He messaged me that he's excited about it. I'm worried.
That'll be fun to scroll through. Beyond that, catch me on Lights Out Trivia, JPO's trivia, wrestling, and movies, other than that, not a whole heap going on, but things pop up here and there. So
all right, JPO, what you got going on?
Hey guys, catch me over at the Periscope. We just did our semifinals match recently, so we're moving on to the finals of the tournament sometime next week. We're almost there, and then we start the tag team tournament. Hey. So figure out your partners, because we're starting that probably the next couple of weeks, and as well as other shows on their countdowns. Well, I haven't done a countdown in a minute. Let's do a countdown yet, you guys.
Okay. Yeah.
Let's see here. Over at Pierce Wrestling as well, doing some trivia, some interviews, doing some more interviews as well for Kayfabe Corner, which I found out 2 other shows also call themselves that, but I'm 60 episodes in, so I'm not changing the title now. And
call it Kayfabe Turnbuckle.
Too late, goddammit, too late. Until someone sues me, I'm calling it Kayfabe Corner. I found out the second one's newer, the other one's older, but it stopped. So I actually believe, as far as the oldest consecutive, I believe I win. And other channels here too. Let's see, Why We Love Horror, Lights Out, Multiplex, and a Common Wrestling Trivia over on Twitch with Cass. I'm sure we're getting something, but yeah, also Catch Me Inside. How about that?
All right. Yeah, and I'll be on 2004, obviously tomorrow night championship. JPO and I will be going live. I think over on TMG Entertainment doing our
CMG.
We'll be traveling back to talk at 2023 some more. A little tail end. Worst 12 through 22 movies, something like that. Like other,
not the worst, but still pretty,
but like
shit.
almost there. Yeah, still bad movies. So we'll be talking about that.
Maybe a couple 2-stars stuck in.
Right. Some of those, like, for me, it's like those 4 and 5 out of 10 type movies, sort of things. So yeah, things like that.
I forgot you're not a letterbox guy. You use a 10 system.
Yeah, sorry. That's just for me personally. That's what I do. A little more leeway with that for me. I feel like, otherwise you get a lot of 3 and 4-star movies. But yeah, hopefully a podcast about movies on Saturday. Me and Jacob are still planning on that, so hopefully we'll see him back on the show.
If he doesn't go to a comedy show.
Yeah, right. and then seen and heard on coming up next Monday night. I'll be co-hosting, and that's going to be Seen and Heard drinking. It's going to be all drinking scenes.
I'm on.
What's that?
I'm on that. We're on that. Is anyone drinking? Or is it just?
I might be drinking just as the only one, but like it's not going to be heavily. It's not going to. No, I will. I might do it for everybody else. I'm not going to do it super heavy because I still have to work the next day. So I don't want to be like ridiculously hungover. I do go in a little bit later on Tuesdays. But I don't want to drink super heavy.
For being wasted.
Yeah, it's not so much wasted. I just don't want to be mega hungover, like stumbling around. I don't like being hungover.
Well, it's during the day here, so I probably shouldn't. What the hell are you doing out there?
But yeah, I can confirm he's trying to pull all scenes where at least people have drinks in their hands or drinking, bar scenes, things like that. So it'll all be related to that.
Also, even the clip will be drinking related.
Even the clip will be drinking related. Yes, so people will at least be in a party or at a bar or something like that. So
I'm just going to write Beer Fest the whole time, and I'll get it right eventually.
You might get it right eventually by default. Yeah, or Coyote Ugly. Beer Fest and Coyote Ugly. You're bound to hit at least one or two of those. So a lot of bars.
I should do some studying. I should look up bar movies and shit.
Sure, yeah. But it could be just a regular movie that just has a party scene where people are drinking out of red Solo cups. You never know. So, yeah. Anyways, that's what's going on the channel. So, you can catch us next week. We'll talk the news and I guess WrestleMania 14, and we'll see. Kind of a forgotten WrestleMania, but I remember it being pretty good. So, last time I remember watching it like years ago. So, maybe it'll be underrated. We'll see. We'll talk about it. But yeah, for Richie, for JPO, I am Austin Pez Howell, and for Sting. Thank you, Sting. You have earned your time.
Love you, Stinger.
Love you, Sting. Thanks for the memories. We appreciate you.
We'll see you at All In out of retirement.
Bye-bye.